Even things that don't make sense to everyone.
People always wonder why I don't get rid of my guitar since I never play. But it's like, what if I actually end up taking lessons? Sure, I've had it for 8 years, but if I get rid of it, then what will my New Year's resolution be next January?
Exactly. So bundle your renters and auto and save with Progressive and protect the things that make sense to you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates and other insurers not available in all states or situations. Covered subject to policy terms and conditions.
Organize easy. Organize tough. Customize your work truck or van with upfit solutions from Van Products. Steel and aluminum shelving, toolboxes, data files, cabinets, drawers, conduit carriers, ladder racks, everything safe and secure. Everything built as unbreakable as you by Adrian Steel. Backed by the best warranty in the business. 3 years, 36,000 miles. Everything custom installed by Van Products so you know it's done right. From a single work rig to a fleet, choose custom installed upfit solutions from Van Products.
If only life had a remote control, you could pause or rewind. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
What could you do with an extra $75,000 right now, or even a couple $100,000? If you own a home, you can get that money in less than a week with Loan Pronto. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Loan Pronto is the leader in quickly converting your home equity into cold hard cash. You can pay off all your credit cards or start that home remodel. Loan Pronto has several easy options to let you access the cash from your home. There's virtually no paperwork, no cumbersome process, no junk fees, and often no appraisal. Listen, the average homeowner now has over $300,000 in equity. That's your money. Use it. One client got $150,000 out and paid off all their credit cards, 2 car loans, and a personal loan, cutting their monthly expenses by $1,500. You can get approved in as little as 1 day. So act now with no hard credit pull up front. LoanPronto.com, 919-381-1760. Get the money you need for anything. 919-381-1760, LoanPronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
So, you found the one and want to get married? Next step, you need the ring. And not just any ring, the perfect engagement sparkle that exemplifies your love. Bailey's Fine Jewelry is here to help. Our diamond experts, wide selection of high-quality diamonds, and financing make saying I do easy. We guarantee you'll love the ring or your money back. You're invited to see why Bailey's has been voted best place to buy your diamonds. Visit us today in-store or at baileybox.com to find out more.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on the radio, Instagram, TikTok, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Midday on this St. Patrick's Day, still plenty of clouds around, breezy at times, temperatures mid to upper 50s, highs this afternoon in the lower 60s, overnight clearing out, upper 30s for lows, with the low 70s for highs Tuesday afternoon. I'm meteorologist Chris Michaels in the WRAL Severe Weather Center.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones up 479 points at 41,967. Market update brought to you by UNC Chapel Hill Day of Giving. Save the date for Give UNC. Mark your calendars for March 25th and get ready to make an impact at UNC Chapel Hill. This hour of the drive is brought to you by RDU Airport. Lufthansa is excited to take off from Raleigh Durham International Airport by connecting you to destinations like Germany, Italy, India, and beyond. Say yes to incredible journeys. Book today at Lufthansa.com.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Back in the studio, everybody. Back from Charlotte, where we brought you up to and through and around the ACC tournament, which, by the way, finished over the weekend. Duke, the ACC champion. Selection Sunday took place. Canes stay hot. It's St. Patrick's Day. Happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody. Graham, happy St. Patrick's Day to you.
Happy St. Patrick's Day to you, Tim, and happy Selection Monday.
UNC, maybe a little bit of like a shamrock in their pocket.
Sure.
Right? Little bit of that. Finding their way into the NCAA tournament, granted in what I call the play-in games. The first round in Dayton, starting up tomorrow. They're facing San Diego State. Listen, UNC made the tourney. Let's start there. Tar Heel fans, deep breath. You're in. I think that's the right decision. I didn't always, but I did come around Friday after the game. Friday, watched it in person, Duke UNC, saw that second half, and I did come around to, I think UNC is a deserving NCAA tournament team based on their final 8 or 9 games, whatever it was. Everything after their Clemson loss, I said they've shown enough. So I believe it's the right decision. But I understand the uproar. I understand what it looks like. I'm seeing a lot of defensive Tar Heel fans out there, and I'm going, well, you gotta understand what it looks like, right? UNC has as good an argument as any bubble team to get in the tourney. Again, like I said, that second half against Duke, that was what flipped me. But the Ken Pomeroy rankings, the net rankings, all of these whams and any acronym stat did like UNC more than West Virginia and more than Indiana and more than so many of these other Boise State, these schools that got snubbed that are so angry about it. So if you take in a whole bunch of different data points and a whole bunch of them say that UNC should get in, and then there's just this one outlier of the fact that they have darn near no quad one victories, then I think a logical person could point at it and say, all right, there's no quad ones, but all of these other data points that we're supposed to take into account, right? All of these other algorithms say they should get in. That's fine.
It also helped that they won 2 games in their conference tournament, unlike teams like Ohio State, West Virginia, Xavier, what have you. I mean, that makes a difference too.
There is and are and continue to be a whole bunch of arguments for UNC getting in. But there's always that however, right? But I get it, okay? Don't be defensive. Your athletic director was the chair of the committee. That's a fact. Right? And I don't know why everyone loves these quads. Quad 1, quad 2. It's so darn arbitrary. I don't even think people know what quad 1 means. Quad 1 means that you beat either a top 30 net ranking team at home on your floor or a top 50 net ranking team on a neutral floor or a top 70 net ranking team on their floor. That is ridiculous. There aren't 70 teams in the NCAA tournament. And you can, like, the difference between a top 30 team and a top 70 team is not like, well, we had to travel. And it's so arbitrary. But yes, it is a thing. And West Virginia had 6 of them, 6 quad 1 wins. Indiana had 4. Boise State had 3. Like, I get why they're upset. And yes, Brian Murphy, WRAL sports investigative reporter, friend of the show, did the digging, and he tweeted out, according to his 2022 contract, Bubba Cunningham, the athletic director for UNC, receives a $67,905 bonus for the football team playing in a bowl game, women's basketball team making NCAA tournament, and men's basketball team making the NCAA tournament. So there was a financial motivation for the chair of the committee to put his own team into the NCAA tournament. He can receive up to $100,000 based on success of men's basketball in the tournament. Again, according to Brian Murphy, WRAL Sports. And I hear you, right? Because the anger, rather than just celebrating your team being in, there's all this back and forth. Yes, Bubba Cunningham, when they were discussing UNC, did have to recuse himself from the committee. He had to go walk out into the hallway. I don't know, find a water fountain.
Get held hostage.
But here's how I imagine other teams seeing it. Bubba Cunningham says, whoever the 68 8th team was, right? Let's say it's Xavier.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't like Xavier's resume, right? Here's all the things that are knocks against Xavier. I think we should drop them down. Who's right below them? UNC. Oh, sorry, I got to go out into the hallway. You guys, and the damage was done. That's how they see it, and I get it, and they should be mad. It's fair for them to be mad. But it doesn't change anything. You're in. Your season's still alive. Enjoy your team's opportunity. It's simply a ridiculous conflict of interest, but you didn't, the players didn't choose it, right? They just went out and tried to win games. Bubba Cunningham did speak to the media, and he was asked about the reaction to UNC getting into the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, I do think the hardest thing about any of these tournaments any year is trying to pick the last 3 or 4 teams that are in the tournament and the last 3 or 4 that are out. And you indicated our principles and our procedures don't allow me to participate. In fact, it doesn't allow me to even be engaged in the conversation, which is why Keith is joining me here today on the radio to talk about how those things work and maybe what the discussions were about Carolina and why the committee thought we were in, because I had no input into that process.
Indirectly, you do, though, right? You have input into the other teams that are competing with UNC to get in. Here's the way I look at it, and ironically, I'm going to use a UNC analogy here. We were at the ACC tournament. I don't know if many of you watched the end of the Duke-UNC game. It was right in front of us, Dennis and I. Jalen Withers' lane violation essentially ended the game. Duke was ahead by 1. I believe it was Van Allen Lubin was shooting free throws, missed the first, and on the second one, he makes it, tie, 4 seconds left. They probably go to overtime. Jalen Withers flinches, takes a half step forward, goes over the line. It is a lane violation. Duke gets the ball. They make their free throws. Game over. It was the right call. I still felt bad for UNC, right? I could understand why UNC fans would be furious. I can understand why Jalen Withers was going, you called a lane violation? It was the right call.
You also called that foul on the floor that Van Allen Lubin was attempting?
It's like I understand the anger while also acknowledging the right thing happened. That's how I think UNC should look at all these other snub teams yelling at them. It's the right call. Right? I think UNC deserved to get in. Part of the math that goes into the selection committee is who's the best team. Part of the math is if you had to put these teams against each other, who do you think would win? And based on the way UNC is playing, I think that is a pretty good argument for them. The fact that they just took the number 1 team in the country all the way down to the wire, I think that is a good argument for them. But yeah, I get why you're mad. I get why you're frustrated. I get why you're hurt. And I'm not going to go combative with you. I'm going to celebrate my team getting in, and I'm going to celebrate at least one more game of R.J. Davis, and I'm going to celebrate that this season, which, by the way, for UNC is still a disappointment, but with every win will become a little less of a disappointment.
And folks, also, let's just not kid ourselves. Life sometimes isn't fair. If it was, it'd have a pig with a blue ribbon on it and a Ferris wheel. You cannot have I know you love the analogies. You cannot have a team that is in 3 different commercials that air for the NCAA tournament, such as Marriott, Allstate, and the NCAA tournament itself. You cannot have them in the NCAA tournament. Like, as somebody who's grown up in the state of North Carolina, I've seen plenty of times where if something good can happen in North Carolina, chances are it will. And this is just a prime example of it.
And
it is what it is.
We're going to continue talking about this because everybody wants to. And by the way, we do have our phone lines opening at 3:30 for a little Monday sound off. So UNC fans, if you want to respond to those that are upset with you in the tournament, we'll have the phone lines open at 3:30. So buckle up for that. I'm going back. Do you remember when Florida State didn't make it into the college football playoff despite going undefeated and winning the ACC?
Yes, another great example.
And Boo Corrigan, the NC State athletic director, I believe he was the chair of the selection committee there. And when Florida State didn't get in, there was a lot of, how does the ACC not take care of the ACC? So you wanted allegiances to matter there, and now you don't want allegiances to matter here?
I
people get mad at LeBron for putting Bronny on his team, right, and pulling all his leverage. I'm going like, I don't know. It's a dad. He probably does unfairly want his son to succeed. And I'm looking at this going, if Bubba did kind of, I don't know, indirectly hint that he wanted UNC in, well, yeah, that's his school. It's not his fault. It's the fault of whoever let him be the chair. Right? That's the problem. You shouldn't be a sitting athletic director and be the chair of a committee for active teams. But once you're there, like, I kind of do expect a little bit of bias there. Just like if somehow there was some radio award and I was on the chair, like, I'm probably leaning 99.9 The Fan. I'm got friends that work here, right? The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Tim Donnelly for Mainer Service Company. Before we move on, we have a lot of basketball, a lot of reactions to the selection show to get to. But here's the thing. Chaos you can't predict, right? That's why they call it madness. It's every day, every upset is going to shock you. That's fine. It's fun to be shocked in sports. Less fun to be shocked when it comes to heating, plumbing, electric, cooling, any of that involving your house, right? I'm going to put you through something real quick, and just know it is a test. This is just theater of the mind. You're watching the games. It's Thursday. It's Friday. There's games starting at noon and going all the way up till midnight. You're locked in. You got 6 screens going. All the games. There's an upset happening over here, and boom, power goes out. Oh, no. Panic. Is your bracket doing okay? You don't know. Your internet's out. Call Mainer Service Company. They'll get you up and running as quick as possible. They'll fix the problem. They'll set it up for long term. It is, I don't take that lightly, right? My basketball I take seriously, and I'm sure many of you do as well. So I'm not calling somebody I don't trust. I'm only calling the best, so I'm calling Mainer Service Company. Bookmark this phone number, 919-361-0993. That's 919-361-0993. Not just for electric, but plumbing, cooling, heating, the whole kit and caboodle. Visit them online, MainerServices.com. That's Mainer, M-A-Y-N-O-R, services.com. We're going to take a break. When we come back, Duke, they won the ACC. They're the number 2 overall seed. They're playing in Raleigh in the opener for their NCAA tournament run. What else could go well for Duke? Stick around.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
It's clear that Luka has breathed new life into this Lakers franchise, and LeBron James has been energized by it. And guys, starting to get my hopes up.
Oh, no.
Starting to get my hopes up. I'm starting to believe. I'm now at the place where I expect a deep playoff run, where I expect the Lakers to be in the championship round.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Don't go through another year with all that high interest debt. Let Loan Pronto wipe it all out now. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan makes it easy to pay off all your credit cards or tackle that 2025 home improvement project. Get cash in your pocket fast. No appraisals, no paperwork, no waiting. Loan Pronto's AI-driven tech gets you approved and funded in as little as 1 day. One client got $150,000 approved in under 24 hours. Paid off all their credit cards, 2 cars, and a personal loan, saving over $1,500 per month. With low fixed rates and lightning fast transfers, you can do it too. Consolidate debt, improve your home, take control of your finances. Imagine being credit card debt-free by this time next week. Don't wait. Call Loan Pronto now, 919-381-1760, or visit loanpronto.com. Get a free rate quote with no hard credit pull, 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Hey girl, haven't seen you downtown lately.
Nope, sticking to our go-to places.
You mean like Sharky's?
Well, we love our Sharkies. Best wings and gumbo on the planet. But we never miss the $5 sangrias on Wednesdays at the new Salt and Lime, and Mexican pints on Thursdays for $3.
You know my boy loves the House of Hops. No better selection of craft beer in the state. Loves their specials, their food trucks, and you know I love my wine. They have a wonderful selection.
And have I told you about our new takeout spot, Che Empanadas? It's right next to Sharky's. They have 20 different types of authentic Argentinian empanadas, and they are incredible, especially the breakfast ones. You gotta try it.
Sounds perfect. And how awesome is it that they're so close to each other?
Yes.
Give them a try. Che Empanadas, House of Hops, Salt and Lime, and Sharky's. just a hop, skip, and a jump from each other off Durham Road, Glenwood, and Grove Barton.
We want to invite you to Atlantic Spas and Billiards to bring more relaxation, wellness, and fun to your home. Sit in a hot tub from Hot Spring or Caldera, relax in a hot sauna from Finleo, or swim in our showroom in our endless pool. We have a fully stocked game room showroom with darts, ping pong, foosball, air hockey, pool tables, and more. Everything we sell for your home, from hot tubs to grills, from saunas to pool tables, promotes relaxation, wellness, and fun. Atlantic Spas and Billiards on Glenwood Avenue in Raleigh and Market Street in Wilmington, AtlanticSBNC.com.
Tim Donnelly here for Zero Res. Right now, you can beat the spring cleaning rush with big savings and priority booking by calling our cleaning heroes at Zero Res. This month, get 3 rooms, Zero Resified, starting at $119, and take 20% off your air duct cleaning as well. Book online anytime at ZeroResRaleigh.com. Just say you want the 99.9 The Fan special. Spell it backward or forward, it spells the same. Zero Res.
Welcome to Staples.
I hear Staples prints it all for any business.
You bet, and we'll beat any print quote.
So if I had a pizza place...
Staples can print signs, menus, pizza boxes.
A landscaping business?
Oh, we can print yard signs, t-shirts, brochures.
How about a pizza/landscaping business? I'll call it Dough and Mo.
I like it.
Right now at Staples, get up to $250 off your print purchase. Ends 4/5 exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for offer details. Price match guarantee valid in store and staples.com/print. Visit staples.com/price match for details.
Hear that? That's the sound of digital instants from the North Carolina Education Lottery. With instant wins, progressive jackpots, and bonus games right from your phone. It's nonstop chances to win like you've never seen or heard before.
Oh, yeah! Big money!
Visit nclottery.com to get in on the action. Must be 18 to play. See prize and odds charts at nclottery.com/digital-instants for details. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
As dominant a run as this league has ever seen, and they punctuate it with a 23rd ACC title. They knock off Louisville 73-62, the final score.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, trading away Mikko Rantanen, and much, much more. If you have a take, be ready. Opening up the Heaster Automotive Group hotline in about 10 minutes, 919-860-5326. I don't think Duke's run through the ACC tournament was dominant. And I watched it. I was there, saw it in person. I think it's almost more impressive than that. Because you take away Cooper Flagg, you take away Malik Brown, which is an underrated miss. If Cooper Flagg's not hurt, we're talking a lot about Malik Brown not being there for Duke. And they still win. And not only that, they win close games, right? That game against North Carolina, you needed to make one more winning play. That's what they were saying. And you can blame this, you can blame that. You can say UNC gave it away. The fact of the matter is they made one more winning play without what I consider the best basketball player in college basketball this year, Cooper Flagg. And because of that, I think they should have been the number 1 overall seed in the NCAA tournament. They earned it. They scheduled aggressively. They closed out the season on a heater. They obviously won their conference. Auburn, who is the number 1 overall, lost 3 of their last 4 games. Lost 5 all year, lost 3 in their last 4. And Duke beat them head-to-head earlier this year. So maybe Duke has a little chip on their shoulder. I'm not going to take that away from them, but here's the deal. You're playing in Raleigh, which would have been their first choice, right? Their location to open is down the street. They have number 2 Alabama in the Wisconsin, the 3rd seed in their region, but you're going to have to beat good teams to win a national title. You're not going to avoid them. The thing that Duke's team has done well this year that I don't know they've done in the recent past is they haven't made excuses. And I don't anticipate them starting now. Right? When they were losing the early games to Kentucky and Kansas, when injuries happened at the beginning of the ACC tournament, when Malik Brown missed time earlier in the year, you didn't hear excuses. And that, to me, is the difference here. Okay? There were a bunch of times they could have packed it in the ACC tournament. A bunch of Georgia Tech got up by a bunch on them. knocking down shots. And I literally said, and I think I tweeted this out, so I have some receipts here. I looked around and said, I've been saying this is a tougher mentally Duke team than last season, and we're going to find out right now. Right? Because if they pack it up, if they go in, if they start whining, if they blame refs, if they do all of this other stuff, there it is. Right? Then they're the same team from last season. They'll probably make it to the Elite Eight, and they'll bow out. But that's not what happened. Their best player got hurt, right? Their maybe best, most versatile defender, second best, most versatile defender gets hurt. They're down by a bunch, and they come out on the other side victorious. And then it's Con Knippel, and it's Tyrese Proctor, and it's Kaman Malawash, and it's Isaiah Evans off the bench, and it's, you know, a different guy every time. John Shire talking to Blue Devil Sports Network, the head coach, on how he feels about the way his team responded to all of the challenges they faced in the tourney.
We've been in some interesting positions this year, John, and down double digits. Obviously tonight we closed the half not well. We're down 5, and I challenged them at halftime just to dig down on our toughness, and I thought we were just being a little soft, and that's not typical of who we've been. And, man, I'm telling you, every step of the way, this group has responded. They respond. In the second half, they came out, and you could tell they flipped the switch, and there was a different group.
That's not easy. It's not easy. So, you know, I'm hearing all of this. That's how we started. All this dominant talk. Such a dominant run through the ACC. They won the games. Okay, don't get me wrong. They won 19 regular season out of 20 ACC conference games. They won every game they needed to win the ACC tournament. But there were a whole bunch of times I was watching and it felt shaky. A whole bunch of times there were those moments where you're like, maybe it's not. Maybe that injury is the one that does them in. Maybe that call by the ref is the one that does them in. Maybe that hot streak of shooting by their opponent does them in. Yet they found a way to pop out on the other side with a win for the most part. So dominant isn't how I would describe it. Impressive, yes. And maybe more battle-tested for the next round, right? For the NCAA tournament. More battle-tested, meaning they know, right? And like if Cooper Flagg gets hurt, that's bad. Don't get me wrong. Best player in the country. But they survived Cooper Flagg getting hurt. So if anyone else gets hurt, it's like, well, we did it without Coop. We can do it without so-and-so. And it's a cold-blooded, next man up sports mentality, but that's what it is. All right, we have to come back to beat this team. Well, we came back to beat Georgia Tech, or we almost gave it away in the second half against UNC, but we found a way. Like, they have experience to lean on, and they can be confident in those situations. I'm impressed. Haven't filled out my bracket yet, but before the season, right, before anybody jumped on the bandwagon, I did say Duke was going to win the national championship, and I don't anticipate changing that. But again, haven't filled out my bracket yet. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is your time to take center stage. It is a Monday sound off, which means we will open up the Heister Automotive Group hotline for you. The phone number, 919-860-5326. UNC fans, if you want to respond to your team making it and celebrate, or you want to clap back against everyone saying you shouldn't. 919-860-5326. Want to hear from Duke fans, State fans on your coaching search, Canes fans on the hot streak. We want it all. Football, if you want to go Panthers offseason. Tetaroa McMillan ran a 4.48 according to some today at his pro day. If you have takes, we want to hear them. Heister Automotive Group hotline. It is a Monday sound off, and we are open for your takes. 919-860-5326. Monday sound off next.
Dennis Cox here for ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Who will be cutting down the nets this year? Get in on all the tournament action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest upsets to placing bets in just a few taps. All tournament long, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with the promo code Radio100 to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
We're in the middle of the madness.
Tar Heels on the run. Trimble to the cup. Layup. Count it in the foul. Carolina can get within 6.
From the first four to the national championship.
R.J. Davis swishes it home. That one rainbowed up and through.
All the hoops action will be heard here.
Lubin gets the rebound and hammers
hammers it home. The road to San Antonio is driven by Bailey's Fine Jewelry, Fairway Green, and First Horizon Bank. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
It's the Jeep Celebration event at John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington. Get ready for the ride of your life with 25% off your new 2024 Jeep Gladiator. Cruise through the toughest terrain, tackle any adventure, and look great doing it. Whether you're off-roading or on the road, the Gladiator is built for all. So get off your keister and get to Heister because this deal won't last long. See dealer for details. Hurry into the Jeep Celebration event. On now at John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington.
Every sandwich has bread, every burger has a bun, but these warm, golden, smooth steam buns, these are special, reserved for the very best. The Filet-O-Fish, and you can have them too.
Mix and match faves like a Filet-O-Fish, McCrispy, Spicy McCrispy, or 10-piece McNuggets. Now get any two for only $6. Prices and participation may vary. Single item at regular price.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, where every nail-biting overtime win, breakaway, pick six, three-point shot, underdog win, buzzer beater, shootout, walk-off, and absolutely every play in between is amazing. From football to basketball and hockey to baseball, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus only.
Attention watch enthusiasts and collectors. Bailey's Fine Jewelry invites you to an exclusive pre-owned Rolex event happening for 2 days only, March 21st and 22nd at their Village District location in Raleigh. Discover North Carolina's largest selection of vintage and pre-owned Rolex timepieces featuring sought-after models like the Daytona and Submariner and collector favorites like the iconic Pepsi and Hulk. Whether you're a seasoned collector or searching for your very first Rolex, this is your chance to explore an unmatched collection March 21st and 22nd only at Bailey's Fine Jewelry in the Village District. Visit BaileyBox.com for event details. Your perfect Rolex awaits.
Which of us, detective, do you suspect is the millionaire?
The evidence is everywhere. Your diamond necklace, Monty's new yacht, and the butler's new convertible. Admit it, you're all Maximilian scratch-off winners.
Of course we are. With 25 prizes of $1 million, you could be too.
New Maximilian from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 2.95. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Adam Gold in studio with my man Sammy Hanna, owner-operator of the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. I tell people this all the time. If I am doing a commercial for somebody, I am vouching for who they are and what they do. You guys do great work, but your customer service stands above all the great work that you do.
Adam, I truly appreciate that testimonial. And yeah, we try to take pride in our customer service and meet and exceed our homeowners' expectations on all their home improvement needs. Obviously, there's many companies out there that do what we do. If you Google home improvements, Raleigh, you're going to get many, many companies. But you're not going to find too many companies out there that have a 4.9 rating and over 800 Google reviews and over 7,000 Guild quality reviews. It takes a lot of work on our part to make sure we meet and exceed all your expectations on customer service. And we're going to continue to do so because that's why we've been in business since 1961.
I have used the Aluminum Company. I have not heard anyone that had anything but incredible things to say about all of you, and that is amazing. That's a testimony to how you guys do it. Aluminum Company of North Carolina, aluminumcompany.com.
Are you suffering from chronic joint pain or just struggling with daily activities because of discomfort in your knees, back, or other parts of your body? Well, I've got great news. It's called DaVita Med Spa and Wellness, a solution that can help you get back to feeling like yourself again without the risks of invasive surgery or long-term prescription drug use. DaVita Med Spa and Wellness is a regenerative medicine clinic. Their innovative treatment options address the root cause of your pain to promote healing and prevent re-injury for long-lasting pain relief. If you have arthritis, joint pain, sports injuries, or other conditions, their highly trained medical providers will develop a cutting-edge treatment plan tailored just for you with little to no downtime. DaVita Med Spa and Wellness can get you back to doing the things you love. Call DaVita Med Spa and Wellness today, spelled DVIDA. Call 984-333-1313, 984-333-1313, 984-333-1313.
For North Carolina, I don't know how they made the tournament and West Virginia didn't make the tournament. North Carolina had 11 opportunities to play against teams in the field. They only won one of those on a neutral court in December.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time for a Monday sound off, everybody, which means the phone lines are open for your takes, your reactions to all of the sports. There's the sound. That horn means call in. Heister Automotive Group Hotline, 919-860-5326. We want your reactions to everything. Selection Sunday, the ACC Tournament, the Canes action over the weekend. They won both of a doubleheader. Panthers talk, NC State coaching search, and anything else. Right? It truly is. The world is your limit. 919, if you want to go outside local sports, that's fine. Something else with the NCAA tournament. 919-860-5326. The women as well. Shout out to the ACC Triangle women's basketball teams hosting just about everything. 919-860-5326. We'll start with Dean in Rocky Mount. A frequent caller on our Monday sound-offs. Again, the line open for everybody. Dean, go ahead and sound off here. I have it down that you want to sound off on the Canes and the Panthers, so take it away.
Hey, I took a couple weeks off, but I'm back, and I will say this. With the NCAA Tournament, 4 locations in Raleigh are hosting games in the first 2 rounds, that being Reynolds, Carmichael, Cameron, and Lenovo Center. But with the Carolina Hurricanes, on this radio station, I've heard the personalities talk about a guy named Mikko Rantanen. Now, for some reason, that name's not ringing a bell. I don't know who that is. Maybe someone can remind me who Mikko Rantanen is. I don't think he's any good. Apparently, he has the same amount of goals as Mark Jankowski has for the Hurricanes, as Mikko Rantanen has for every team not named Colorado this year. But, hey, maybe he is good. I don't know. But with the Panthers, you got people out here, they're acting like the draft is just one round. You just have your first-round pick, and that's it. There are plenty of opportunities in this draft for the Panthers to address holes in their team, not name the number 8 pick. I mean, you go back, you look through the years, you had guys like Cade Mays, Freddie Christensen, Charles Smith played last year, Chuba Hubbard. You have a bunch of guys selected. And I keep hearing this discourse about, well, you should take certain guys because certain guys have this type of height, this build, this weight, this run speed. Last time I checked, it's the Carolina Panthers of the National Football League, not the Carolina Panthers of the National Track and Field Association. So that's just my opinion, and I'll just leave that to you guys.
All right. Appreciate the call, Dean. As always, again, phone lines are open. Heister Automotive Group Hotline, 919-860-5326. I'll address the few things that he said there. One, Mikko Rantanen, I get the urge to forget and move on. It's a part of this year's story, right? There were 6 weeks in the middle of the season, granted 2 of them were 4 nations, where the story was Mikko Rantanen. So it's a part of your story.
It's part of the storyline for when the Hurricanes face the Dallas Stars in the Stanley Cup Finals, and then that's all that ESPN is going to run with as far as, hey.
Or the Colorado Avalanche.
That too.
And then, he'll be the story there as well. It's part of the story, and they are to be all pro. The higher the pick, the more likely they are to be a Hall of Famer. It's pretty well shown. And same with speed and things, right? Show me a wide receiver that's been all pro at 4.85 40. For every one you show me, because I'm sure there's a couple, I'll show you one that's been all pro with a 4.4 40, and I guarantee you my list will go on longer than yours. It's playing the numbers. Christian, is this Christian in Bailey? Is that what we have going on there? All right. Heister Automotive Group Hotline open. Call in 919-860-5326. Christian in Bailey wants to talk UNC basketball. Christian, thank you for calling in. Go ahead and sound off.
Yes, sir. Well, first off, I'm thrilled that Carolina got in and we get to watch another game, hopefully more than one.
As you should.
But I've never seen a team live in another team's fan base's head rent-free as much as this team. I mean, all I've seen today and yesterday is Duke fans not celebrating the fact that they're a 1 seed in the tournament. They're more concerned about we shouldn't be in the tournament. And I've never seen that before I have this year.
First of all, so you're saying you've seen it more from Duke fans than even from West Virginia fans or Boise State fans, some of the actual snub teams?
Yeah, I've seen it way more from Duke fans where I understand it more from West Virginia and maybe Indiana, but I don't even understand why Duke is concerned with us making the tournament when it has absolutely nothing to do with them. I mean, there's been years we've been super solid, and there's been, down teams.
Do you know what I think it is? And I'm not like justifying here, but do you know what I think it is? I think Duke thought they put the nail in your coffin, right? That semifinal loss, when so many, and myself included, up until watching the second half of that game, thought UNC had to win against Duke to make the NCAA tournament. When Duke won, they probably celebrated the fact that they kept UNC out of the tournament. And now that they're in, it's a little bit of air out of that balloon.
Yeah, kind of like I guess they were trying to get back from 2022.
2022 is going to take a long time to get their look back on that one. Appreciate the call. Call back in anytime.
Sir. Thank you. Thank you.
But here's the thing. It is a rivalry, right? I like rivalries. And rivalries don't exist if you're polite and respectful, right? After the game, what was it? R.J. Davis, after punching their ticket to play Duke in the semis of the ACC, said third time's the charm, right? And then after Duke won, Isaiah Evans was quoted saying third time's the charm, right? That back and forth matters. Con Knippel, after the game, saying, when he was taking his free throws with 2 seconds left, he looked at his teammate and said, don't do anything stupid, like a lane violation. Like those things, they're part of the secret sauce of a rivalry. UNC bottle it away. Do you know why? Because somewhere down the line, you're going to win. Right? We've seen Duke and UNC go back and forth a billion times. You're going to be on top at some point. Talk your trash then. And don't go like, oh, it's weird. They're obsessed with us. I'm like, or is it? Or are you two in a rivalry, maybe the best rivalry in sports? And yes, there's a certain amount of obsession that comes with rivalries. Matt in Burlington, up next here on the Heister Automotive Group hotline, open for all of your takes, 919-860-5326. Matt wants to sound off on UNC making the big dance. Matt, thank you for calling in. Go ahead and sound off. Matt in Burlington, can you hear me?
Maybe Matt's having therapy or something right now. He's meditating over UNC making the NCAA tournament.
I feel like he was hunting or something, and the birds were chirping, and a buck just walked in. I don't know if it's open season, and he was like, well, I can't talk now, right? And now we got to be silent.
Interesting, definitely, yeah. Now maybe he's in a deer stand or something. Let's go to Edward instead. How about that?
I can help him. Ready? That help anybody? No? We're going Edward and Wendell up next. 919-860-5326. Call in with your takes. It's a Monday sound off. Edward and Wendell, you're up next. Go ahead and sound off. Edward, can you hear me?
Hello?
There, you're on the air, my guy.
Oh, well.
I think this is Matt. I think we
actually got Matt. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
Matt,
Matt.
You're back. Now I'm all twisted up. Matt, you're on the air. Go ahead and sound off.
Well, I don't know. I think y'all got the lines mixed up. This is Malik, but I was calling and talking about UNC too.
This is Malik?
Yeah.
All right, Malik. I don't know where you're calling from, but if you want to talk UNC basketball, go ahead.
Well, same with the last caller was just talking about. I mean, we're playing a team that was 1-9 in quad wins. They're a team that's 16 and 17 that got into the tournament. I think everybody's worried about the wrong thing. We got in. That's all that matters. And I mean, that's all I got to say. Duke fans should just stay mad. State fans, I mean, y'all have always been our little brother. So
hold on. You understand the optics of your athletic director being the chair of the committee, right?
I mean, just.
Not saying it actually mattered. I'm not saying anything bad happened, but I'm saying if it comes down to two teams you felt both shouldn't have gotten in, and one of them has their athletic director, the chair of the committee, I know where I would target, right? Whether it's justified or not, fans are fanatical, right? They're not always the most common sense. You can kind of understand what it looks like.
Yeah, it does look bad, but you got to remember Texas got in 17 and 15. That's barely a 500 record. There's a lot more. There's a lot of teams that shouldn't have got in. So I mean, we're in. Duke fans be mad. State fans. I mean, like I said, y'all are our little brother. So that's all I got to say.
Appreciate the call. Call back in anytime, Malik. I mean, I'll tell you right now. I know what I want to have happen, and this is no disrespect to any other team, right? if we're going to get a fourth time at UNC Duke, it has to be the national championship game. They're on opposite sides of the bracket. So, is it likely? Heck no. Is it impossible? Also no. So, if it happens, then we can settle this on the court. Duke fans are probably saying we already did 3 times. So do we have Matt in Burlington? Where should we go next, Graham? Tell me who to bring up next.
We're going to go with Edward.
Edward and Wendell. Heaster Automotive Group Hotline. Go ahead and sound off on UNC.
Okay, one thing, we're not your little brother for NC State.
All right.
Also, I'm sounding off how UNC shouldn't be in it. I feel like they did not. If you lose by 1 point to Duke without their star player, I don't think. I mean, Cooper Flag. I don't think you can call that a win to put you into the tournament. A great loss to put you into the tournament. It feels like something happened there under the table, maybe that they shouldn't be in. If they're putting them in, you might as well put NC State in because they should not be in. They barely got in. They're expected to be one of the first teams out. It was close, but I think it was West Virginia was the other one. They should have got in.
All right, Edward, I appreciate the call. I'll respond to it, but we'll let you go here. Thank you, though. Great job. I want to emphasize this, and I did it before the games when Cooper Flag wasn't playing. Duke still is, I mean, if they're not the most talented roster, even without Cooper Flag, they're like third. They went from, with Cooper Flag, they were the only team in the country with 3 teams in the projected NBA top 10 picks by ESPN. Without Cooper Flag, they fell all the way to tied for first with 2 players in the top 10 of ESPN's projected top 10 picks. Watch Kaman Malawash. I left so many plays wildly impressed with his ability, and that's without Cooper Flag on there. So UNC hanging with Duke there, I don't think many bubble teams hang with Duke in that way and have that comeback against Duke even without Cooper Flag and Malik Brown. That's why I was impressed with UNC. Right? I think it's a compliment to both sides, right? I think it's a compliment to UNC that I think they should get in, and it's a compliment to Duke that I still consider that a wildly, wildly resume-building performance. Heaster Automotive Group Hotline open, and like I want to be clear here, and we're going to get to Dwayne in Pikeville in a second. I don't actually think anything nefarious happened in the committee room. Like, I don't think Bubba Cunningham was in there going like, guys, do me a solid. I don't, but I just think as a fan, it's hard not to let your brain go down that path, right? It's again, fanaticism. Dwayne in Pikeville, Heaster Automotive Group Hotline. The phone line is open. Your takes. Do you think UNC should have gotten in or not? Do you think Duke should have been the number 1 overall seed or not? Do you think the Panthers should draft Teteroa McMillan at number 8 or not? Canes takes, whatever you want. 919-860-5326. Heaster Automotive Group Hotline. 919-860-5326. Call in now. It's a Monday sound off. Dwayne in Pikeville, you want to sound off on UNC? Now is your chance. Go ahead and take the wheel. Dwayne, are you there? Dwayne, going once. Going twice. Sold.
All right, I guess Dwayne got cold feet.
Well, I mean, we're doing a lot of UNC talk. Maybe his point was taken, right? That happens occasionally. You see it at press conferences after games and stuff. Somebody will be raising their hand. The moderator will be getting ready to come to him. The question right before will be asked, and they'll be like, oh, never mind. I was going to ask about that same guy. I was going to ask about that same moment in the game. So maybe Dwayne got his question got hijacked. Heaster Automotive Group Hotline, 919-860-5326. It is open for all of your call-ins, including from Brendan in Hillsboro. Brendan in Hillsboro is up next right here on the Heaster Automotive Group Hotline. Again, 919-860-5326. Call in now. Brendan, thank you for calling in. Go ahead and take the show, right? Sound off. It's yours.
Hi, Tim. Thanks for taking my call.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a question / complaint about the bracket as a whole. Maybe you can explain it, but I've never understood this.
Okay.
Why is it that a team who, like UNC in this case, effectively is like a loss away from not making the bracket at all. But then if they win a play-in game, they're like a 10 or an 11 seed.
Mm-hmm.
So which puts them effectively like higher up than 20 other teams that made the bracket legitimately. It seems like play-in games should only be for 16 seeds, and I've never understood why a play-in game gets you a higher seed than anything but like the absolute bottom, since you're just playing to even be in the bracket in the first place.
Well, I actually think I can answer this question. I actually think they should all be play-ins for the 11 seeds. I don't think any 16 seeds should have to hit the play-in games for this reason. 11 is where they put the bottom, traditionally, put the bottom of the at-large teams, right? So at-large selections, I believe there's 37 at-large selections this year, and don't quote me on that number exactly. But the final at-large selections kind of slot into that 11 seed. The 16 seeds are often teams that won their conference championship to be auto bids, right? So the selection committee, the last team in was UNC. They have to go to a play-in game. UNC is going to be higher seeded than, say, the CAA champion like UNCW, right? So the seeding is kind of based on the two groups at large and then conference champion auto bids. I actually think if you win your conference, you should get to play in a field of 64 game. The at large teams, which are kind of objectively chosen, I think should be more for the playing game, but I'm nitpicking there. But hopefully that answers your question. Does that do anything for you? Go on. All right, Brendan. Hopefully that fixed a little bit, and hopefully I was able to explain that all right. Heaster Automotive Group hotline open for a little Monday sound off. 919-860-5326 is the number. 919-860-5326. We have Ronnie in Gardner, who in my notes is identified as an NC State fan and has some sounding off on UNC. So let's see where a State fan thinks. Ronnie, thank you for calling in. Go ahead and sound off.
Anyway, it's Lonnie, and yeah.
State Lonnie, sorry. Unintentional mispronunciation.
No problem. Yeah, I believe UNC did deserve to get into the tournament. They really turned it on the last few games, and if it weren't for a stupid little mistake, they could have gone to overtime with Duke. And it makes the ACC have 4 teams instead of 3.
I have to let you know, Lonnie. When I saw NC State fan wanted to sound off on UNC, I was not expecting such a measured and quite frankly complimentary take. So that was a refreshing change-up, Lonnie. Thank you very much for calling in.
Well, anytime, lest we play each other.
There you go. There you go. Actually, we should acknowledge that, and thank you, Lonnie, for sparking this. We should phone lines open. Heaster Automotive Group hotline 919-860-5326. We'll get to more of your calls. It is good for the ACC that UNC snuck in, right? And if you want, it's almost like you got to close your nose so you don't smell it if you're a Duke or an NC State fan, and you have to be kind of happy for UNC. It's good for your conference. It's really bad for your conference if you have 3 teams in. It's really bad if you have 4, but it's less bad if you have 4. So the fact that they snuck in, it gives you more opportunity to build up the reputation of your conference, right? If UNC starts in the playing games and they're playing in the Sweet 16, the ACC gets to turn around and say, see, I told you we weren't XYZ bad this year, right? If Duke's playing for a national championship, if Louisville and Clemson are playing on the second weekend, and if UNC makes a surprising run, you get to turn around and go, you know who was also better? Pitt and Wake and all of these other teams that you talk down upon, right? So it is good for the ACC that UNC made it. Maybe that's what Bubba Cunningham was thinking. Maybe. Do you think, how funny would it be if they were in there like negotiating? Like, fine, you can severely underseed Louisville, who's like an 8 seed, despite the fact that they are legit, in exchange for us sliding UNC into the back end of the bracket. On behalf of the ACC, we'll flip it around. The driver, Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Matt in Burlington is up next. Heaster Automotive Group hotline. Sorry for making everybody wait. 919-860-5326. You can call in right now. Matt in Burlington, welcome to the show. Go ahead and sound off.
Hey, Tim. I just wanted to talk about, Carolina versus the other brackets, or other people in the bracket. I've got some music going on in my ear. I'm not sure what's going on.
Yeah, that's just our little background music for the
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So sorry about that. So I wanted to talk about Xavier being the team that everybody should be up in arms about. They've got one Q1 win, and everybody's like, "Oh, West Virginia." Well, West Virginia, before the conference tournaments, was at the top of the last four in, and they go out and lose to the 16 seed, Colorado, who had 13 wins. They were like 13-20. Like, if you got a problem with it, go beat the worst team in the league. And then Indiana, the other thing with the quad one thing is just, it's so flawed. You've got Indiana with quad one wins, but if you look at their quad one wins, you've got Ohio State team who's 2 or 3 games over 500. You got a Penn State team who's 2 games over 500. And that's their quad one wins versus Carolina, who has 7 losses to top 5 teams this year. So I think everybody was just making such a big deal about quad one, but you're not actually looking at the games inside the quad one.
There's a lot to break down there. I appreciate the call. I'm going to do. We're kind of up against the top of the hour, so I'm going to do my best here. Call back in anytime. 2 things. One, Xavier did like calling out Xavier is a little aggressive there. They lost to Marquette, who's the 25th team in the country, to end their conference run, and they're playing in the playing games, meaning Texas and Xavier are. There's something to be said for the optics. And I'm doing my best to make sure everybody knows I'm not accusing anyone of anything, because I'm not, and I truly don't believe it would happen, and I don't think they'd be able to keep the secret. So even if it did happen, I think we'd learn about it. Xavier didn't have their athletic director chairing the committee. So somebody in there that's not connected to Xavier said they deserve to be in, and that feels everybody in there not connected to Xavier said that. So it feels different. It just feels different. And I think you're a little upset with the ACC, right? Because you're saying like, oh, look at this quad one. It's just a team that's a couple over 500 and they got a quad one win for it. And I'm going like, well, they're a couple over 500 in the Big Ten, which is different than being a couple over 500 in the ACC right now, right? If you look at UNC's schedule, if they got quad one wins for beating like the NC States or for beating Virginia, like Syracuse, like you would have expected them to get in the past, right? These are Florida State, Miami, some teams that have been good. Then we wouldn't be having this conversation, right? They'd have 5 quad one wins, 6 quad one wins, and then they'd be cruising into like a 9 seed, or maybe better, maybe a 7 seed. The ACC has to be better if they want to give their team some net ranking help. Appreciate everybody for calling in. Heister Automotive Group Hotline. There's lots to talk about when it comes to the committee. The teams that are just out, this is why I don't love everyone, expand it to 96. Well, guess what? Then 97, 98, 99 are going to be real upset they didn't make it in. Like, there's always going to be bubble talk when like the committee said, UNC is the last team in. Yeah, there's going to be arrows pointed at you. It's just going to happen. Mix in the Bubba Cunningham element of it. There's going to be jabs and jokes made. Just be happy that you get to eat these jokes while preparing for the NCAA tournament. You play tomorrow. Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Tim Donnelly here for Miller Lending, home of the no closing cost loan. Rates are volatile, right? Interest rates, mortgage rates, they go up, they go down. If anyone tells you they know when, I would say they're probably selling you a bill of goods, right? They're probably trying to pull a fast one. The fact of the matter is volatile, right? Rates go up, they go down, and we don't always know when it's going to happen. The best thing we can do is be prepared to take advantage of the movement. If rates drop, refinance. And don't take all that money out of your pocket for closing costs and fees where you have to have a couple $1,000s ready at any point in time. If you want to lower your monthly payment, call up Miller Lending. If rates drop, refinance, no cost out of your pocket. None. No third-party fees. 0 means 0. I don't know how else I can say it more simply. It's how to take advantage of, rates drop a half point, boom, pounce. They drop 2 points, pounce even faster. The number to call, 919-447-3377, 919-447-3377, or you can visit them online at millerlending.com. Once again, that is millerlending.com. We have football at 4 coming up next. Are the Panthers, to use a football analogy within a football conversation, are they punting on increasing their wide receiver talent this year? Stick around.
Do you ever go to the Carolina Hurricanes games and find yourself thinking, what do the players eat before the game? What are their pregame rituals? What kind of music gets them pumped up ahead of the game? How sacred is the game day nap? What's the post-game mood on the team plane? Check out my new podcast, Iced Tea, with me, Megan LaMontagne. I get to talk to people who spill the tea on the Carolina Hurricanes. Listen to Iced Tea in any podcast app or watch the show on the Fan YouTube channel.
Hey, what do you say? John Forsland here for my friends at Buffalo Brothers. It's hockey season, baby. I live and work on both coasts, and here's the deal. There's nothing like Buffalo Brothers. The best wings on the planet and a great place to watch all the big games. Visit all 5 Triangle locations for great specials, including half-price pizzas Monday through Friday, 4:30 to 6, and $6 Jamesons on Sunday. Dine in, carry out. BuffBrothers.com. Aw, man, now I want wings.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Hey friends, Paul Eihander from 99.9 The Fan for FanDuel. And FanDuel is turning the excitement up even higher for college basketball. Through the first 2 rounds of the tournament, bet on the lowest winning seed of the day, and you'll win a share of $1 million in bonus bets. That's an upset you won't be upset about. Think maybe a 5-12 or a 4-13. That's just me. FanDuel, the best place to bet on the tourney. You can bet on everything from spreads to money lines and team totals and so much more. Just visit FanDuel.com/Paul, Paul with a capital P, and download America's #1 sportsbook today and back your dog of the day. Because in March, anything can happen. 21 plus and present in North Carolina. Opt-in required. Winning pre-live money line wager on lowest seed required. Each $1 million jackpot to be split equally among all eligible winners. Bonus bets are non-withdrawable and expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Hey, this is Luke with Newcomb & Company. We're a residential, commercial, plumbing, HVAC company who's been serving the community for over 70 years. Honesty is the biggest policy around here. You know, we take pride in everything we do, anything we touch. We're not one of those companies that come and throw it in and then you can't get a hold of them again. We're there with you, hand in hand. Here at Newcomb & Company, what stands us apart from other companies is we actually do more than just AC and heat pumps. We do boilers, geothermals, furnaces, radiant floor, anything that is odds and ends that nobody else can touch is what we thrive on. At Newcomb & Company, we do same-day service. That's also another thing that helps us stand apart from other places is we do same-day service because we have enough professionals to get out to these houses to solve what the problems are. And we're on 24/7 on emergency basis, weekends, nights, holidays, you name it, we're there. If you ever need us, give us a call. Visit our website at newcombandcompany.com. As you always hear us say, your comfort is our business.
Beat the spring cleaning rush and call our cleaning heroes at Zero Res. This month, get 3 rooms, Zero Resified, starting at $119 and take $20 off your air duct cleaning. Book online anytime at ZeroResRaleigh.com and say you want the 99.9 The Fan special.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to RitchieLaw.com.
That's RitchieLaw.com.
They score! WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on the radio, Instagram, TikTok, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Midday on this St. Patrick's Day, still plenty of clouds around, breezy at times, temperatures mid to upper 50s, highs this afternoon in the lower 60s, overnight clearing out, upper 30s for lows, with the low 70s for highs Tuesday afternoon. I'm meteorologist Chris Michaels in the WRAL Severe Weather Center.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones up 353 points at 41,841. Market update brought to you by UNC's Day of Giving. Save the date for Give UNC. Mark your calendars for March 25th and get ready to make an impact at UNC Chapel Hill. This hour of the drive is brought to you by Deep River Sporting Clays and Shooting Schools. Ready to take on a new challenge and learn some skill shooting? Visit deepriversportingclays.com. Again, that's deepriversportingclays.com.
Let's move the chains. Time for Football at 4.
This is Football at 4 here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. The NFL free agency carousel significantly slowing down, right? You're filling out the end of your roster. You're making a few moves, maybe signing a veteran. Unless you're, I don't know, Pittsburgh or the Giants, then you're still looking for a quarterback. But that's a whole different story. Aaron Rodgers, what's going on there? Panthers might be running out of options to improve their wide receiver room. That was one of the things I had on their priority to-do list. And they might just have to be okay with that. That might be one of those things where you look around and you go, you know what, we tried. And for those of you saying, well, the offense, right, because part of the frustrating thing for this offseason is everybody knew the defense needed to get better, and in doing that or in making that a priority, the confidence in the offense has gone too far. They were 3rd worst in passing yards per game last year, 5th worst in passer rating in the league last year, 5th worst in completion percentage. Individually, if you took Bryce Young just after he returned to the starting lineup, right? So he played awful for 2 games. He got benched. Andy Dalton got in a car accident. He hurt his thumb, and Bryce Young came back in, and he played much better from that point forward. If you take just the point after he comes back, he's 23rd in the league in yards per game individually. The passing game needs help still. And what have they done this offseason to help? Nothing. Nothing. The best thing you could say is they didn't lose anybody, right? They re-signed Tommy Tremble. They renegotiated and gave a raise to Adam Thielen. Like, that's what they did. So one of my priorities was try to find a true number 1 wide receiver, because then Adam Thielen becomes a great number 2, and Xavier Legette becomes a great number 3, and Jalen Coker becomes a great number 4 when I don't know if they're good enough as a 1, 2, and 3. But now I'm looking around, and you ready for this? I'll run through some of the options for true, at least at some point in their career, number 1s. T. Higgins got paid. He got tagged and paid. He, along with Jamar Chase, it broke late last night. They're going to be making over $10 million more per year than any other wide receiver duo in the league. Chris Godwin, paid. DK Metcalf, traded, paid. Cooper Kupp, paid. Elsewhere, by the way. Deebo Samuel, traded. Christian Kirk, traded. Devontae Adams, paid. Darius Slayton, paid. Hollywood Brown, signed for a 1 year. Like, there's not many options. So you look at the draft, right? You're like, all right, anything you don't get done in free agency, you got to get done at the draft. My best wide receiver this year, after watching tape and doing a little breakdown, taking my own notes, Travis Hunter. Now, I don't know if he'll be a wide receiver at the next level. I don't know if he'll be a defensive back and have 10 plays a game on offense. If he were to focus on wide receiver, he would be my number 1 wide receiver in the draft. He will not be available at the 8th pick. Teteroa McMillan seems to be losing steam. He did allegedly, I don't know if allegedly is the right term there, supposedly, Jordan Schultz, NFL Insider, reported that at the Arizona Pro Day today, Teteroa McMillan ran a 4.48 40. If that's a legit 4.48, like a combine 4.48, McMillan becomes part of the conversation at the 8th pick. But if that's like a hand-timed, I have him at 4.48, somebody else has him at 4.57, then he's losing steam. The other wide receivers in this year's draft, Matthew Golden, Luther Burden, Trey Harris, you may recognize some of them from college. They're not worth the 8th overall pick. So this might be one of those. Actually, Graham said it earlier, right? Life's not fair, right? Life's tough. Get a helmet. Cold world, no blankets, whatever reference you want to use. Like, this might be one of those situations where the Panthers have to look around and go, look, we can't solve all of our problems in a single offseason. And they are banking that by solving a bunch of their other problems, they can hide their lack of a wide receiver one. All right, we don't have a Jamar Chase, a Justin Jefferson, a Devontae Adams. Like, name your prototypical wide receiver one. A Garrett Wilson, a Malik Neighbors, a Marvin Harrison Jr. We don't have that. But we have, hopefully, great play calling to hide it, right? You don't have to be that great a wide receiver if you're schemed 20 yards open. We have a great running game, right? They did spend on the offensive line last year, and they are bringing back everybody on their offensive line. And they did spend to make Chuba Hubbard their guy. And they did bring in Rico Dowdle, and they still probably will draft one in the mid-rounds. Running backs is what I'm talking about. And then you hope there are more options for number one wide receivers next year. Or you hope that Xavier Legette breaks out in a way that would be unprecedented based on his rookie production. Right? You hope he breaks out and becomes a 1,200-yard wide receiver, which would be wildly unprecedented for a first-round rookie who had less than 500 yards as a rookie, or first-round second-year player who had less than 500 yards as a rookie. So this might be kind of the I don't know if everybody's been here, but this is going to be my analogy. Have you ever gotten to the front of the grocery store and put everything on the conveyor belt, the little treadmill that your food goes on, and then recognize that you had not enough money to get everything that's already on the treadmill? So you kind of do like the reverse draft, where you start looking at your foods going, what can I do without? Right? Everything in your cart you needed, but now you're going like, well, I need this one the least. So you go put that back, or you go, all right, not this, all right, not that. If the Panthers offseason was a trip to the grocery store, right, because that's the old Bill Parcells analogy, right? If you want me to cook the dinner, you got to let me buy the groceries. If this offseason was a trip to the grocery store, they may have come to the conveyor belt with an interior defensive lineman, right? A corner, a safety, a tight end, and a first wide receiver one, right? All of these things. And then their free agency allocation and, the selection at the grocery store and everything else said, we don't have enough money for this. So the first thing they put back was their high-priced wide receiver. They said, we're not going to spend all of this for DK Metcalf. We're not going to spend all of this for Chris Godwin or whoever it ended up being. Because we absolutely need these other things. They prioritized something else, and then you just got to be okay with that. Right? Then when you get home and you don't have that ingredient, you can't make it ruin the dinner. Bryce Young's going to have to overcome it. The running game's going to have to be great. The passing game's going to have to give the pass protection is going to have to give Bryce Young even more time because he doesn't have the win now wide receiver one. You need to give, Jalen Coker a little bit extra time to set his guy up and free himself. Or whoever it is, right? Jatavian Sanders, whoever's the guy that's gonna win the route, might need a couple extra seconds. Robert Hunt and that offensive line better give it to him. Or you draft Teteroa McMillan and hope that 4.48 is legit. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, which is always a possibility. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have the ladder challenge to get to, a podium based on the ACC tournament. Who amongst the ACC teams from the state of North Carolina gets the gold, the silver, the bronze, and who's off the podium? Stick around. That's coming up next.
Hey, folks. Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Law Tigers. Look, you're running out of opportunity. You're running out of time. You got to go to caniacsbike.com and enter for your chance to win a custom-built Caniacs motorcycle, because Law Tigers, Tobacco Road Harley-Davidson, Shiny Side Paint, and your Carolina Hurricanes, they've all teamed up once again to give one lucky fan a motorcycle. But this year, it's a custom built in Raleigh at Tobacco Road Harley-Davidson, custom painted by Shiny Side Paint. Also right here in Raleigh, Canes colors, logos, decals, you name it, it's all right there on the bike. It's not just a motorcycle that they slap some stickers on, folks. It is truly one of one. It is a custom build. Go to caniacsbike.com. Again, go to caniacsbike.com to enter for your chance to win. caniacsbike.com. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm. Again, caniacsbike.com. Enter to win right now.
Evan Canty and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
It's clear that Luka has breathed new life into this Lakers franchise, and LeBron James has been energized by it. And guys, starting to get my hopes up.
Oh, no.
Starting to get my hopes up. I'm starting to believe. I'm now at the place where I expect a deep playoff run, where I expect the Lakers to be in the championship round.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Spring is here, and there's no better time to let a new career blossom. The Wake County Public School System is hiring special education instructional assistants and bus drivers, and we need dedicated individuals to help transport kids and provide instruction to motivated students. You'll love our competitive salaries and comprehensive benefits, including retirement, and will enjoy a welcoming, positive culture that will motivate you every day. Apply now at careers.wcpss.net and discover a place where anything is possible.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $150 in bonus bets when they bet $5, win or lose. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. And see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in North Carolina. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. T&Cs apply.
If Heineken Silver was a 60-second radio ad, it'd tell you all the stuff you need to know in only 30 seconds to keep things light and refreshing. Seriously, time me. Heineken Silver, a world-class light beer that's surprisingly crisp and refreshing. Made with only premium quality ingredients and just 2.9 grams of carbs and 95 calories. All without compromising on taste. Heineken Silver. Order now at Heineken.com/silver. Must be 21 and older to purchase. Enjoy Heineken responsibly. Whew. 30 seconds. That's it. Done. Peace.
What could you do with an extra $75,000 right now, or even a couple $100,000? If you own a home, you can get that money in less than a week with Loan Pronto. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Loan Pronto is the leader in quickly converting your home equity into cold, hard cash. You can pay off all your credit cards or start that home remodel. Loan Pronto has several easy options to let you access the cash from your home. There's virtually no paperwork, no cumbersome process, no junk fees, and often no appraisal. Listen, the average homeowner now has over $300,000 in equity. That's your money. Use it. One client got $150,000 out and paid off all their credit cards, 2 car loans, and a personal loan, cutting their monthly expenses by $1,500. You can get approved in as little as 1 day. So act now with no hard credit pull up front. LoanPronto.com, 919-381-1760. Get the money you need for anything. 919-381-1760, LoanPronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
So, you found the one and want to get married? Next step, you need the ring. And not just any ring, the perfect engagement sparkle that exemplifies your love. Bailey's Fine Jewelry is here to help. Our diamond experts, wide selection of high-quality diamonds, and financing make saying I do easy. We guarantee you'll love the ring or your money back. You're invited to see why Bailey's has been voted best place to buy your diamonds. Visit us today in-store or at baileybox.com to find out more.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it.
Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 to learn more. With AutoPay plus taxes and fees, plus $5 per line without AutoPay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. Motorola Edge on us with 24 monthly bill credits and new line for well-qualified customers, plus tax and $35 per line connection charge. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Taylor 10 on the ticker. Leaves it left for McNeil. Bryce fired 3. Yes, sir! Left wing, Paul McNeil, 5-0.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time for the ladder challenge. However, a little bit different today because Dennis Cox was sitting in for the Adam Gold show. Adam had the day off today. Not sure what that situation was, but Dennis took over for Adam today. That's all I really know, which means Graham is producing our show. And when that happens, we get creative with the ladder challenge. So we thought today, rather than the month-long competition that we've been doing, we'll put that on pause. And Graham and I will each $3 $10 bets. We'll each make $3 $10 bets. They have to be on college basketball games against the spread. Is that what we said?
Yeah.
All right. Three games against the spread. And whoever has the most money when these games are done, you have to find a line on it somewhere, is the winner. So we have a couple days to put these together. Graham, we'll go one by one. You, me, little rapid fire.
All right.
I have a theme for mine, by the way, as I often do.
Okay.
Go ahead. You go first.
Oh, so the first one I'm going to do is one of the first 4 games tomorrow night. We're going to go Alabama State versus St. Francis, both 16 seeds. Give me St. Francis, PA, plus 3.5 minus 102.
Any reason for it? You just like St. Francis?
I just like St. Francis.
All right.
Cool name.
First time they've been in the tourney since 1991.
There you go. That's a great reason to go with them.
I believe. What are the odds on that? So you're making like $19, something like that, or making $9 on a $10 bet?
Yep.
All right. I'm gonna. Let's see if you can figure out the theme on this one. My first prediction is also a first 4 game. My first bet. I'm taking UNC minus the 4.5 against San Diego State. I kind of like teams that get absolutely trashed for making the tournament to be real edgy, trying to prove everybody wrong, us against the world. And UNC, since it was announced they were in the tournament, they're on social media. They had to just get absolutely schmalacked from every direction. So give me UNC to beat San Diego State in Dayton by at least 5.
Seth Trimble also looked very upset at the fact that they just got announced for the play-in game. Like the rest of the team was celebrating RJ Davis. Everybody was going crazy. Seth Trimble front row.
You had every emotion in that room.
Face.
You had every emotion in that room. RJ Davis obviously jacked up to get one more game in his career at least. Seth Trimble locked in. All right, what's your next pick?
I was also going to do North Carolina minus 4.5 at plus 100.
If you want to box me out, you can. You can feel fine.
I'll go San Diego State.
Oh,
plus 4.5.
One of us will win. One of us will lose. That's just see, now I know you're not convicted in that pick because you were going to be on the opposite side. My next pick is first round NCAA tournament. Louisville minus 2.5 against Creighton. I think Louisville's really good. And I think if they get a little bit healthier, I think Chucky Hepburn's really good. I think they get this rap as like this scrappy upstart bunch of losers from the past 3 years that have put it all together under a new coach. None of these guys were at Louisville last year. None of them. Chucky Hepburn was all Big Ten defensive team. Edwards was the Sun Belt player of the year. They're just a really good team. So give me Louisville minus 2.5. They're wildly underseeded as an 8 seed. They should be fourth or 5th seed maybe, but they're an 8 seed. So give me Louisville minus 2.5. What's your last one? I don't know what's going on in the producer's room. There's conversations taking place.
You want a real ladder challenge?
Oh, Dennis stepped into the booth.
Got a real ladder challenge pick for you, Tim.
All right, go ahead.
All right, I'm up to $26.50.
I'll fight all of you. I'll beat Graham, all of you.
Hey, trophy's in here where it belongs.
Does Max want to pick?
I'm up to $26.50. Give me tonight Columbus Blue Jackets, New Jersey Devils, over 3.5 goals combined. That's a minus 775. That's going to take me to $29.90.
So 3 or more? Is that what I heard?
Over 3.5 goals between the Blue Jackets and the Devils.
All right. For my official one, I'm taking Steph Curry 3 or more threes versus the Nuggets. It's the most fun bet in sports. When Steph hits 2 in a row and your buddy texts you like, Steph might be on fire, you're darn right he might be. It's the most fun bet in sports. They're playing the Nuggets, by the way, and they've been lighting it up since Jimmy Butler got there. When that hits, that'll turn my 25.72 into 29.14. It's a minus 750 bet. Graham, finish up our competition.
Final one for me. Let's go American Mount St. Mary's. This is almost like a win your own funeral, I guess, because whoever wins this is going to go in to play Duke. But I've seen American play once before, non-conference game, actually against North Carolina. It was close the first half. Carolina opened things up in the second half. But I'm still going to take American -2.5 at -110.
My final one, Clemson -7.5. My theme, by the way, Clemson taking on McNeese, which is Will Wade. So maybe Clemson will do NC State a little bit of a favor and end McNeese's season so they can seriously negotiate and or name Will Wade. Just saying. I'm impressed by little audio there.
Sorry.
I'm impressed by the top of the ACC after watching the ACC tournament. I think there was a very, very distinct difference between. What are y'all laughing about in there? I feel like I'm on the outside of a joke. There's people laughing in the producer's room.
It's production stuff in the war room. Don't worry.
Right. I think there was a very distinct difference from Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday in the ACC, and then Friday, Saturday. So I'm going to be invested in the Friday, Saturday teams, which obviously include Clemson -7.5 in the first round. And when they all hit, then I'll be, I don't know, a bunch of dollars richer. Graham, we'll measure to see which one of us wins as the first round gets going later this week. Dennis and I, you've heard those. We'll track that month to month. There's a lot going on, a lot of balls in the air. Max, do you want to make any pick? Just because every other producer gets one. If you have one off the top of your head.
Max, our executive producer for today's.
We've got people going through the producer's room left and right. Anything?
I love Akron. Akron against Arizona, they're like plus 15.5 or something. I think they're going to win straight up.
I love Akron. Akron is plus 13.5.
There you go, Max, associate producer. I should have let Max do all my
So you
picks.
got them on the money line? Is that what I heard? Straight up winning outright? Plus 750? All right. That's
he's staying on business.
No, I don't hate a bold prediction at all. That's Max, who's shadowing Graham back there. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Let's get this thing under control a bit here and jump to the podium. Graham, fire up the music. There it is.
We're back on track.
Every week, it's a 1-week award. It's the podium. We look at the 4 teams from the state of North Carolina. There it is. 4 teams from the state of North Carolina that are in the ACC. During men's basketball season, it's a men's basketball award. And it's 1 week. So who had the best week? Fortunately for us, the ACC tournament took place entirely in this past week. So we can look at the ACC tournament and decide who is the gold medalist, the bronze medalist, the gold, the silver. That's a weird way to the correct order to put it. The gold, the silver, the bronze, and who's off the podium. And I promise you, it is more complicated than just who made it X amount far in the ACC tournament. Starting with off the podium, I'm putting Wake Forest. You may say, what? How is NC State not off the podium? They didn't even make the tournament. Wake Forest had a bye all the way to Thursday. Well, first of all, they had a bye all the way to Thursday, and they lost right away to UNC. And multiple players went cold. It was basically Hunter Salas doing everything he could to score. Efton Reed not really getting it done. Hildreth not really getting it done. And these are veterans that they should be able to depend on. So that's bad right there. And losing to UNC, right? Losing to an in-state school in your conference who you know, that hurts. But that's not the real reason why they're off the podium for me. Because, you know, I'm not going to put them behind NC State for losing a game that NC State didn't even qualify for. I hate that they're turning down the NIT. Wake Forest turned down the NIT. They had the opportunity to play more basketball. And by the way, they've got, like, I don't know if they're, they're going to look back at the end of their career and put them in any kind of pantheon of Wake Forest, right? When you got Duncan and Chris Paul and Childress and Teague and I mean, we go on and on and on, right? When Wake Forest has a storied history. So I don't know where these guys are going to go down. But what I will tell you is this. They've played a lot of basketball for Wake Forest. Cam Hildreth, 4-year contributor, 4-year starter for the most part. Hunter Salas, since he showed up, he's been a hooper. Efton Reed. I think they deserve to play more basketball. And I don't know how it hurts your program to go play in the NIT. I just don't. I hate that I hate that it's become a thing. I don't know, you too proud? I don't know, hoopers want to hoop. That's the way I always think of it. I hate that you turn down opportunities to continue playing. So that's why they're off the podium. Bronze goes to NC State. They're absolutely stagnant, right? They weren't in the tournament. They didn't win or lose anything. But the one off-the-court thing, they are raising money pretty quickly, which is a one-time burst, right? When you fire your coach and everyone's excited about who the next guy might be, you can fundraise. It's a small win, but it does help, right? If you got to pay a buyout or something for the next guy, it does help. So they get the bronze almost by default because they didn't turn down the postseason. The postseason turned them down, so at least they didn't have a decision to make. Silver, UNC. They made the tourney. First of all, they won 2 games at the ACC tournament, starting on Wednesday, playing all the way to Friday. That was necessary, right? Turns out that was the absolute minimum they could do to make the NCAA tournament. So doing enough to get in the big dance, that's pretty darn good. It does not make a successful season by any stretch, but the chance remains, right? Every win, the disappointment gets smaller. Every win, it becomes less bad of a season. So, right, the possibility remains. And then this was one of the themes, okay? And I'm just going to let you guys in on the conversations that were taking place at the ACC tournament. When UNC won on Thursday, okay, against Wake Forest, it was at times a rugby match out there. Refs during the ACC tournament kind of alternated between calling it tight and letting it go, and for points in time in that one, I mean, it like Mike Alstott would have a neck roll to play in that game, and that is a late reference, an old reference for some of you. And afterwards, multiple UNC players said, I don't think we win that game in November. That's A, good self-awareness. B, it shows how far they've grown as a team. And I had the same thought in the second half against Duke. When they stormed back and they were more aggressive, they were hustling, they were getting stops, they were knocking down shots, I went, they had some comebacks early in the season, but this one felt a bit different. It felt a bit more like inevitable.
Reminds you of the Kansas game a little bit.
It did, except for Kansas, it felt like they started making shots. Against Duke, it felt like even if they weren't making shots, they were going to find a way to get back in that game.
This team was not capable of doing something like this in that Clemson loss.
They were mentally stronger than they were earlier in the year, and I really valued that. It was an eye-opening experience for me about this year's UNC team, and it got me to kind of shake the cobwebs off and stop looking at them like the team that they were earlier in the year. Hubert Davis, their head coach, on what was different about their defensive effort in the second half. He addressed it postgame.
The competitive fight, I felt like in the first half, one of the things that I talk to the team all the time is be competitive and compete in your individual one-on-one matchups. And I felt like in the first half, they had the better of us, whether it was on the perimeter and the posts. In the second half, I felt like we were more physical. Our competitive fight, we were defending without fouling. We were getting loose balls. We were getting rebounds. We were contesting shots. We were making second and third efforts. And you're right, that allowed us to get stops and allowed us to get out in transition. And that was the number one determining factor of us being able to come back and outscore them by 18 in the second half. It was all defense and rebound.
Ultimately, though, wasn't a win. Lane violation. Brutal.
Of all things.
Brutal.
For that game to conclude.
Brutal. But they did lose to the gold medalist. So, gold medalist, Duke. They won the ACC without their best player. That's a legitimate feat. Legitimate feat. And Malik Brown not playing in that game is a bigger deal than many gave it credit for. Not playing, I think he played 6 minutes in their opener and hurt himself in a lot of pain. If you took off of most rosters 2 extremely versatile 6'9" players that can guard 1 through 5, and obviously Cooper Flagg brings more of it, but can both bring something offensively. If you took that off any other roster, they're a shell of themselves. Duke still had beasts. They still had there's a clip that I actually retweeted, so you can go follow it. If you follow me on Twitter, @Donnelly Sports, you may have seen it. There's a clip where Kaman Malawash gets matched up with what looks like a point guard against Louisville in the final. Kyle Malawash is 7'2", and they are matched up on the perimeter in space. And he shuffles his feet, keeps the man in front of him, and ends up getting a block. He is 7 feet 2 inches tall. And my comment was, so your two versatile 6'9" defenders are both hurt? No problem. You have a 7'2" quick-footed defender that can go out there and do the same things they do. That's absurd. How many teams with a National Player of the Year candidate, I believe should be the pick, would win their conference without that player? And now they're going into the NCAA tournament. Cooper Flagg is expected. The goal, according to John Shire, is for him to play Friday. I think worst case scenario, he probably ends up taking that 1 versus 16 seed matchup off and playing on Sunday. But John Shire talked to Blue Devils Sports Network about how he feels going into the NCAA tournament with our gold medalists from the Podium, the Duke Blue Devils.
Well, hungry for more, and we're going to enjoy this tonight, but we know this thing is fragile, and we're going to have to move on quickly and be really humble, understanding that this doesn't entitle us to anything. But we earned this, and I want our guys to enjoy it tonight.
They earned it. They enjoyed it. Hopefully they did. Enjoy every win, whatever, 24-hour rule. Not that in March. Get like 6 hours maybe. But they will go on to the NCAA tournament, and they are a gold medalist, and I don't think there's much arguing there. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. NC State fans out there probably heard a bit watching the ACC tournament, didn't it?
There were some sickos in attendance wearing some NC State gear.
I saw that. There was. This is
because why not?
This is 100%. I laughed, but maybe I shouldn't. At one of the halftimes, I forget which game it was. They did baby races. They had you had to be under 1 or something. They crawled, and it was actually a really exciting race. There were two babies that were way out ahead, and a third baby stormed up on the outside lane to win. It was stupid, funny halftime deal. But one of the dads for the baby race was wearing a North Carolina State red shirt hoodie thing, and they lost. And it was just like, ooh. Yeah, not your season. Not your season. Tough one. I don't know. It's just a funny little anecdote. NC State, but here's the thing, and I said this while we were there at the ACC tournament. It feels incomplete without State there. Just like it would feel incomplete without UNC or Duke, without Wake, without a few other teams. I think it would feel incomplete without Syracuse or Louisville, right? Florida State, there are certain teams, and I don't know why I'm picking those. There's 8 or 9 teams that if they weren't at the ACC tournament, it would feel incomplete. NC State would be near the top of that list. So they weren't there, and State has to do everything they possibly can to make sure it doesn't happen ever again, to make sure they're always invited, to make sure they're always an acceptable seed. And now it really comes down to hiring the coach that makes that a fact. And they're in a weird game of I don't watch all the guilty pleasure reality dating shows, but it does feel like they're in some version of, I don't know, The Bachelorette or Love is Blind. I don't know which one is which. But it feels like there's a bunch of suitors, right? There's a bunch of these schools that are courting the same 2 or 3 coaches. And they're just hoping to get a rose. That's bachelor, right? Or bachelorette. They're just hoping to be included and then chosen by one of the 2 or 3 coaches. Right? Looking at the openings right now, Indiana's looking for a coach. Iowa's looking for a coach. Minnesota's looking for a coach. Those are all Big Ten teams. Well, what have we learned, right? Big Ten, SEC, it's where the money is. UNLV's looking for a coach. Villanova's looking for a coach. These are teams like NC State that have proven if the right coach and the right moment happens, you can go win the big enchilada. Virginia's looking for a coach. Right? They're all out there. And while they're all going to hire coaches, they're not all going to hire the buzzy, sizzly, top pick ones, right? By the way, I saw something, Villanova playing in a conference that doesn't spend a ton on football, I guess makes them wildly attractive to coaching candidates because their revenue share can kind of go way more to basketball than football. So Like you're competing. Like you have to look at the whole package, right? It's the dating show. You don't just want the funny guy. You don't just want the one that looks good. You want the whole package. Good job, good family, good values, makes you laugh. You want it all. So who's the one making the decisions? Well, Will Wade, McNeese State, Ryan Odom, VCU, Richard Pitino in the mix. Yes, that's Rick Pitino's son. Right? There's the way to ignite your program and build fundraisers and get the boosters excited is to find and hire and get them to choose you the hot buzzworthy names. Settling for whoever is left does not bring in the fundraising dollars. So if Will Wade, Ryan Odom, Richard Pitino are kind of the names that feel like you won, right? You were chosen. They looked around at all of these options and said, NC State is the best. I'm choosing them. Then Justin Gainey or Alan Huss or some of these other names, they feel like you settled. That's not to say they're bad coaches, right? That doesn't mean they're the best or doesn't mean they're the worst. It says nothing about their coaching level, just says about their fame rating, their Q score, their buzz. Gainey or Huss can still be good coaches, but I don't believe if you hire them, that is going to start with a bundle of hype that draws everybody to give money. And if there's one thing you can learn about college basketball right now is that I don't think you need to always be the top spender, but there is a certain floor. Right? Kansas State spent a bunch of money this year. They did not make it to the NCAA tournament. Duke spent a bunch of money this year. They're going to the NCAA tournament as a 1 seed, right? So I don't think spending the most guarantees you anything. But I do think there is a certain floor that if you don't spend to, you have to lower your expectations. So keep that in mind, right? If you hire somebody that draws in dollars, that's going to make it more likely that you are above whatever that floor is. If you draw in somebody who feels like you settled, fans might be less likely to open their pocketbook. Loosen those purse strings, which just means the coach that you hire is going to have to do a little more with less, right? I've talked about this. There is a certain cycle, right? It's like the water cycle, right? Precipitation. Then there's some evaporation going on, and then it goes around and around and around, right? The water, I took like 8th grade science. That's where we learned about that. I think I missed some steps, but you get what I'm saying. There's a cycle in college basketball as well, which is you win, then people want to give money. Then you spend that money, so you win. So people want to give more money. So you spend that more money. So you win more. So people want to give more. And it just goes around and around and around. The hard part is starting that cycle. And not just like one magical month like Kevin Keats had. It has to be a team that everybody believes in. You start getting excited about it in October. November it builds. By December you're talking trash. In January you're cruising. February you're booking flights to the tournament. And then in March you're cashing in all those chips and then you want to give. So you just have to figure out where you're getting on that cycle. Where's your bus stop? Right? If you hire Justin Gainey or Alan Huss or some of these guys, I believe you're going to have to win first. If you hire Will Wade or Ryan Odom, I think you might be able to raise the money first, which then leads to the wins. And I hope that makes sense. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, and we'll keep you updated if we hear anything. We'll keep refreshing and talking to the people who we talk to. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. The Canes. If the Canes were a college basketball program, they could raise some money right now. The fan base is jacked up. The vibes are high. Tell you why coming up next.
Hey, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Who's cutting down the nets this year? Get in on all the tournament action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest upsets to placing bets in just a few taps. All tournament long, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with the promo code RADIO100 to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
Hey, it's Adam Gold, and do you have a late-night craving for in-depth analysis on the Carolina Hurricanes and their latest game, their latest win, their pursuit of the Stanley Cup? Well, I can quench your thirst. I can feed that appetite on the Canes Corner podcast, the morning after edition, which drops the morning after every Hurricanes game. Get it wherever you get your podcast. Brought to you by the Aluminum Company of North Carolina.
Hear that? That's the sound of digital instants from the North Carolina Education Lottery. With instant wins, progressive jackpots, and bonus games right from your phone. It's nonstop chances to win like you've never seen or heard before. Oh, yeah! Big money! Visit nclottery.com to get in on the action. Must be 18 to play. See prize and odds charts at nclottery.com/digital-instants for details. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Is your plumbing outdated or just not getting the job done? Call Newcomb & Company to see how we can help get your home operating at peak performance. Our experienced plumbers can repair or replace faucets, toilets, piping, garbage disposals, water heaters, drain cleaning, and more. Become a Comfort Contract customer to receive priority service and a 15% discount on service calls and repairs. Turn to the experts today. Call 919-862-3000 or find us at newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company. Your comfort is our business.
This is Gordon Miller from Miller Lending and Cary. Way back in the mid to late 80s, rates were all over the map, much as they are today. And what bothered me the most was seeing homeowners constantly chasing lower rates by paying upwards of $15,000 in closing costs each time. There had to be a better way, considering no one was keeping their new loan long enough to truly benefit. So it was during that time that Miller Lending discovered a way to offer a true no closing cost loan. With nothing charged or rolled in, customers were now able to realize immediate savings as even a drop of 0.5% could save them thousands of dollars over the life of a new loan. Imagine eliminating the need for timing as you simply close on today's rates and refinance as soon as something better comes along. Fact is, Miller Lending hates closing costs. So before you throw away thousands of dollars chasing a rate you may not like a year from now, pick up the phone and call Miller Lending today. 919-447-3377 or simply apply online at millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender and MLS number 250-2146.
This ain't your grandpa's golf game. It's League Mini Golf. Join the Hop Shots Golf League at Raleigh Beer Garden on Glenwood South. Registration is now open, so grab your teammate and get signed up at theRaleighBeerGarden.com. Each two-player team will play a round each week. There's a weekly winner and a big tournament grand prize, plus an end-of-season tournament party with free food and bevs. Hop Shots League Night starts March 24th, so get your sign-up in today at theRaleighBeerGarden.com. Then get ready to have a ball.
Tim Donnelly here for Zero Res. Now, as many of you know, my wife just had our second child, little baby girl, and parents say it with me. Kids are messy. We have a toddler, we have a newborn. There's dirt, there's crumbs, there's everything everywhere. And that means spring cleaning can't come here soon enough. So why wait? Beat the spring cleaning rush with big savings and priority booking by calling our cleaning heroes at Zero Res. The number is 919-995-0000, or you can go online at zeroresraleigh.com. Just say you want the 99.9 The Fan special. They'll know what that means. It's 3 rooms of carpets, cleaned, starting at $119, plus 20% off air duct cleaning as well. All you have to do is visit zeroresraleigh.com or call 919-995-0000 and ask for the 99.9 The Fan special. Spell it backward or forward, it spells the same, Zero Res.
This hour of The Drive is brought to you by UNC's Day of Giving. Save the date for Give UNC. Mark your calendars for March 25th and get ready to make an impact at UNC Chapel Hill.
Wrapped around the horn goes, and the Canes have won 7 in a row. Pyotr Kochetkov, perfect against the Flyers this year, and a perfect clean sheet, his 10th NHL shutout.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I'm having a really hard time not breaking one of my own rules about the Canes. I'm constantly screaming, hockey is a big sample size sport. Hockey is a big sample size sport. It's like baseball. right? You can go 0 for 12 in a series, and that doesn't mean you're a bad hitter. It just means it's going to take you a couple months to know how good of a hitter you are. I'm like, there's a reason you play 80-something games and not 10 in the NHL. But they've played 4 since trading away Mikko Rantanen, and I'll be darned if my imagination isn't running away with me. I'll be darned if I'm not like, once they traded Mikko, they're the best team in the league. They're the best team in the league. They're outscoring their opponent 17-5. They've beaten Winnipeg, Tampa. They just blanked Philly. Pyotr Kochetkov is doing all the Pyotr Kochetkov things. Mark Jankowski, goal-scoring monster. 4 goals in 4 games on 4 shots on goal. First guy, I believe, in at least the last 25 years to score goals on his first 4 shots on goal with a new team.
Dare I say, Mark Jankowski, and Eric Robinson are everything that I think Hurricanes fans wanted Mikko Rantanen and Sebastian Aho to be. Now, I'm not saying they're better than those 2 players. I'm just saying those 2 line mates together, really looking, you're going, why couldn't that have worked for Aho and Rantanen?
Through 4 games, absolutely. And I know that the logical side of my brain, I forget which one it is, right? The right and left, one's art, one's logic. The logical side of my brain is screaming, it's 4 games, Tim. If you get it, like a little devil on my shoulder, if you get excited by 4 games, you're setting yourself up for failure. Then there's the other side, right? The artsy side, the one that's a little abstract, going like, Mark Jankowski is going to break Wayne Gretzky's scoring record. Right? That's what the crazy side is doing. Going, this guy, he's going to, take a shot, score a goal, take a shot, score a goal. At this pace, he just needs to shoot more. Everything he touches is turned into goals. That's not sustainable. Like, again, it's a large sample size sport, and I say that for a reason. The last 4 games, the last 7 games, which, by the way, 3 of them, Mikko Rantanen was actually on the roster. But the last 7 games, the win streak, it's great. Some parts of it are not sustainable. So what you have to do is you have to find the parts that maybe can be sustainable, that you think can be things for the long term, and figure out if that's enough to get excited about. I don't think Mark Jankowski is going to be scoring a goal a game. And I'm not going out on a limb by saying that. He had 4 goals in a billion games prior to the trade. He's had 4 in 4 games since the trade. It's not sustainable. But I'll tell you what does feel sustainable. Taylor Hall getting more and more and more comfortable and creating chances seemingly every period. Right? And leading to power play goals and doing things that you're like, oh no, Taylor Hall. Yeah, that he can do that the more comfortable he gets. That seems sustainable.
That's the guy that won the MVP a couple of seasons ago.
Even if he's not physically the same dude, the hockey IQ didn't go anywhere.
And I'm sure it also helps that he's a part of a winning culture now, or he's on a team that's used to winning, unlike the Blackhawks.
Get the guy the extension so he knows you love him.
And he's worth it.
Yeah. Aho, Jarvis, Blake. That line, I believe it could grow into an elite scoring line. Jackson Blake, even though maybe the production isn't there, I'm telling you, it is one of those things where it's just good looks, and eventually that dam will break.
Speaking of Jackson Blake, coming up here at 7, he's going to be the guest on Kane's Corner, the radio show, which returns tonight.
You can hear him talk about it. If they keep that line together, Jarvis, Aho, Blake, whatever order you want to put them in, wherever, obviously Aho and Jarvis a little bit more established, but you want to put them in that line, that can be something you build off of for a long time.
Yeah.
All really, really instinctual good players. Scott Morrow.
Welcome to the league, or welcome back to the league, I should say.
Leveling up. He's a rookie. Leveling up as a young point-producing defenseman. That feels sustainable. The goalies, I don't know. They're playing really, really well right now. We'll see how long they can hold up. But this little one-on, one-off rotation that was really good last year towards the end of the regular season, Freddie, Pyotr. Over and over again, it's looking good. Those are the questions. Right? And then you can go on and on, all the way down. Andrei Svechnikov's been hurt. When does he come back? Like, they have questions.
He was on the ice today for morning skate, by the way.
He was skating prior to practice. With Jeff Daniels, their assistant coach. But there were a bunch of guys that didn't practice. They don't play for a couple of days, so I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of them were just maintenance. The real question is, coming out of the trade, right? I'm not ready to say Mikko Rantanen is the anchor that everybody is making him out to be, right? Like, oh, the Colorado Avalanche are playing better without him. The Canes are playing better without him. The Stars were playing better before they got him. Small sample size. I'm not ready to say that yet. But what I am asking is this Canes team, their response to adversity, their binding of their locker room that came when people started talking negatively about them. Is that different, right? Is that something new? Is that taking the best teams, right? Bunch of jerks. The best teams in team sports, they are so wildly intertwined and connected and together that it seems like the negative outside talk feeds them. Is that around to stay? Mark Jankowski, he's not going to be like I said, he's not going to be a goal per game scorer. That's not around to stay. It's lovely that it's happening, right? Pyotr Kochetkov is not going to his goals against average is not going to stay at like 0.8 or whatever it's been over his last 4 or 5 starts. A crazy number. I'm making that up. But like there are certain things that aren't going to be sustained. But is the mental fight in the face of everybody doubting you, is that around to stay? Because it only takes in each series, right, in the postseason, which is what the Canes will be judged on. Do they advance far enough in the postseason? Do they make it to the Eastern Conference Finals? Do they make it to the Stanley Cup Finals? Do they hoist the cup with this core? In each series, it only takes one great response to change everything. Going down 2-0, storming back to win, showing up and giving up a couple softies. Not letting it bother you, putting the lid on the net for the rest of the game. It only takes one response to change a series. Does this year's team have that when in years past, right, sooner than everybody would have liked, they've come up short? Right? And then we're talking this core. They've come up short. So I'm not looking at the trade and saying like, hey, Stankoven and Jankowski and, all this, they're so much better than anyone thought. They might be, but I'm not saying that after 4 games. What I will say is the mental side of it, right, facing a huge adversity in the middle of the year, coming out on the other side playing your best hockey, that intrigues me. That intrigues me. Because if Svech comes back and plays, he'll play better. Aho, right, he'll produce more points. Like I know there are points, there are things that will regress to the mean positively, and there are things that will regress to the mean negatively. It's the team atmosphere that I'm more interested in. Other than that, what they've done since the trade has been absurd, and it's been awesome. It's been really fun. And keep getting shutouts. 5-0, let's go. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Tim Donnelly here for Mainer Service Company. I've been talking about the owner, Brett, Mainer Service Company, but also just the entire company. I had the opportunity a couple weeks ago to go out to one of their warehouses, one of their facilities, get the tour, and it was cool. It felt like a throwback, if I'm being honest. You walk around, people are popping their heads out. Hey, what's going on? Hey, I'd love to show you this. They care about their work. They take pride about their work, and they're passionate about it, right? What we wanted to do is we wanted to see the inside of a tankless water heater because it looks like a computer in there. And we're walking around with somebody from their marketing department because, right, they're marketing here on the radio. And they said, hey, can you take off this plate? Boom. The people that work on water heaters came over and had fun facts. Look at this, look at that, look at this. There's something to be said for caring about what you do, being passionate about what you do, and because of that, you're better at it. Mainer Service Company checks all those boxes. Heating, cooling, plumbing, electrical, all of those things fall under their umbrella of services and 24/7 service and servicing the entire triangle. Go ahead and give them a call if you need some help. 919-361-0993. I'll give it to you one more time. 919-361-0993. Or you can visit them online, MainerServices.com. That's MAYNOR Services.com. We'll take a break. When we come back, the starting 5, including the reason, once again, the triangle is the center of the college basketball universe, as it should be. Stick around.
We're in the middle of the madness.
Knipple. Bank it home! Count it in a foul!
From the first four to the national championship.
Proctor at three. Bang!
All the hoops action will be heard here.
They get it done, and they are the ACC champs.
The road to San Antonio is driven by WakeMed, Roofworks, Metro Elevator, and Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC in Sanford. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
Welcome to Take 5 Oil Change.
Hey, which way is your waiting room?
Oh, you can stay in your car. It only takes 10 minutes.
I can stay in? Get out. I better find a good playlist to listen to while I wait. EDM? Nah. Oh, what about something classical? Nah. You got any suggestions?
Dad rock?
Now you speaking my language.
Take 5. The stay in your car 10-minute oil change.
Joint pain in your knees, shoulders, or lower back. It can stop you in your tracks. At DaVita Med Spa and Wellness, we offer a revolutionary course of treatment that can eliminate your joint pain and have you back to your old self in no time. Our regenerative therapies actually help repair damaged tissue to eliminate the pain without risky, invasive surgery. If you suffer with joint pain and have been told your only options are medications, steroid injections, or surgery, DaVita Med Spa and Wellness offers non-surgical solutions using your body's own cells with minimal downtime and long-lasting results. Experience personalized, compassionate medical care at its best. Call our office now and see how you can get real, long-lasting relief from joint pain through regenerative medicine and the medical experts at DaVita Med Spa and Wellness, spelled DVIDA. Call 984-333-1313. That's 984-333-1313. 984-333-1313.
The soundtrack to some of your best memories comes to life on one stage. Toad the Wet Sprockets 2025 Good Intentions Tour is coming your way with special guests KT Tunstall and Sixpence None the Richer. August 21st at Coca Booth Amphitheater. The songs you love, the memories you cherish. Sing along, dance, and celebrate with friends old and new. Get your tickets now at boothamphitheater.com for one incredible night of music, memories, and good intentions. August 21st at Coca Booth Amphitheater.
Adam Golden Studio with my man Patrick Day from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. When I say everything for the exterior of your home, I mean it. So tell me everything that you have for the exterior of my home.
There's so many things I can't even remember the entire list. You know,
Good luck.
Thanks for the test here. But windows, doors, siding, roofing, gutters, gutter guards, railings, you name it. We have the exterior home improvement you're looking for. The main thing is we're a one-stop shop, right? So you don't have to call 2 or 3 different contractors if you need your roof done and you need your windows done. You can call one company and have it all done.
I like that. French doors.
French doors.
I like French doors. I can't speak French, but I like French doors. Can I tell you, back in the day, you guys did French doors and every window in a home I used to own.
Well, thank you for your business.
It was incredible. Can I also tell you that it was done in like 2 days? Is that even possible?
It is possible.
How do you guys do work that fast?
We're good.
You're fast.
Good.
That's Patrick Day from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. They do the best work in the industry and the best customer service in the industry as well. AluminumCompany.com.
We want to invite you to Atlantic Spas and Billiards to bring more relaxation, wellness, and fun to your home. Sit in a hot tub from Hot Spring or Caldera, relax in a hot sauna from Finleo, or swim in our showroom in our endless pool. We have a fully stocked game room showroom with darts, ping pong, foosball, air hockey, pool tables, and more. Everything we sell for your home, from hot tubs to grills, from saunas to pool tables, promotes relaxation, wellness, and fun. Atlantic Spas and Billiards on Glenwood Avenue in Raleigh and Market Street in Wilmington, AtlanticSBNC.com.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, Injury Lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to RitchieLaw.com.
That's RitchieLaw.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on the radio, Instagram, TikTok, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRL meteorologist Amy Wilmoth. We've had some heavy showers roll through part of the area today. In fact, some of you even reporting some hail. Things will settle down overnight tonight. We'll have clearing skies, but it does turn colder. We'll get down to around 37 overnight tonight. Beautiful weather on the way Tuesday. Lots of sunshine with a high of 72.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones closes the day up 353 points at 41,841. Market update brought to you by Save the Date UNC Development Office. Save the date for Give UNC. Mark your calendars for March 25th and get ready to make an impact at UNC Chapel Hill. This final hour of the drive is brought to you by RDU Airport Authority. Lufthansa is excited to take off from Raleigh Durham International Airport, connecting you to destinations like Germany, Italy, India, and beyond. Say yes to incredible journeys. Book today at Lufthansa.com.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting five.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. As it should be, and as I believe it usually is, the Triangle is about to be the center of the college basketball universe. And that is going to lead off our starting five with number 5.
Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
With one, the buzzer sounds. Raise another banner to the Cameron rafters. The sleeping giant is awake, and the Blue Devils are back as champions of the ACC.
So here's the deal. Raleigh, meaning the Lenovo Center, is hosting is one of the hosting locations for the first couple of rounds of the men's basketball tournament for the NCAAs. Duke will be playing there along with just a ton of big basketball brands. Florida, UConn, Baylor, Oklahoma, others. The women's side of the tournament feels like half the tournament is going to start their run right here in the Triangle. NC State women in Reynolds, right, so they're both in Raleigh, will be hosting one of their groups. They'll be facing Vermont to open the tournament in Reynolds. Duke will be hosting their little location. They'll be taking on Lehigh. And North Carolina will be hosting their group in Chapel Hill. They'll be taking on Oregon State. They are all 2 or 3 seeds. Graham, your hand is raised. What do you have to add?
Again, Duke women's is taking on Lehigh, not Duke men's. There's a couple of Duke fans out there who just got some bad flashbacks in their head with those two names mentioned in the same sentence.
Yeah, and I actually think it's on the anniversary of maybe a game that those two teams would be very aware of. But my point is, there's going to be, I think, 20 teams total, something like that, out of the, whatever 2 brackets makes up. Out of all those teams, they're going to be starting right here in the Triangle.
Let's just say if you have a birthday or an anniversary coming up that you forgot about, you might be going to eat at Chuck E. Cheese just because there's going to be a lot of places this weekend in Raleigh that are going to be filled up to the brim.
Reach out for your reservations now. And then on top of that, right, it doesn't take long. You look at the women's bracket, UNC Greensboro made it. You look at the men's bracket, High Point is going to be one of the popular, trendy upset picks. UNCW won the CAA, so they're in. There's just a boatload. High Point, by the way, is in a play-in game against William & Mary on the women's side. There's a boatload of North Carolina fingerprints, meaning the state of, all over both men's and women's brackets. And that is why I often say we are in the mecca of college basketball, and I don't hesitate nor stutter when I say it. Anything you'd like to add, Graham?
No, other than just what a great weekend for the love of college basketball, both on the men's and women's side. There's a reason why North Carolina is called the Hoop State, ladies and gentlemen. It's not just for the schools here in the Triangle. It's all over the state of North Carolina and the women's side too. It's just, again, be wary of some extra traffic on the road if you're traveling down I-40 or you're picking somebody up from the airport. And it's also cool if you go out around the city of Raleigh, you see the banners, Linwood South at Raleigh Durham International Airport of, welcome to Raleigh. NCAA Tournament hosted by NC State. There's a little irony in that, but
in good nature, talk your trash. In good nature, talk your trash. And what I mean by that is, if you're a Duke fan and you see somebody walking by in a I don't know, a Florida hat, in good nature, let them know that you think your team is better.
Yeah, don't be like West Virginia's fan base that supposedly is posting Athletic Director Bubba Cunningham's address all over the internet. Again, I don't think that's true, but
I like that.
As someone who works in sports radio, sometimes y'all take sports way too seriously.
And act like the few bad apples ruin it for everybody else. Like I love, the yelling across the street when you see someone wearing your rival's gear. Like that to me is fun, right? A laugh, a chuckle. All right, have a good one. That's a good time. When it gets personal, when it gets too far, then I'm like, all right, you're gonna ruin it for the rest of us.
Just like Dan Campbell having to change his address.
Yeah, I think
stuff
he moved.
Like that.
I think
he moved.
Change his address. Like you can do that without moving.
No,
like
sorry,
we're no longer gonna be on 7 Maple.
We're
gonna call it 9 Maple Street. Like we're just gonna change it. We're gonna trade with a neighbor. Drive Tim Donnelly 99.9 The Fan. That was number 5 in the starting 5. Let's get to number 4.
1, 2, 3, 4. All together.
Taylor 10 on the ticker. Leaves it left for McNeil. Bryce fired 3. Yes, sir. Left wing. Paul McNeil 5-0.
NC State still looking for their men's basketball coach. Although I should say this way, they might know behind closed doors. They might, they loose lips sink ships. So we haven't heard any leaks. But there's a world where they already know, and the coach just wants to finish out maybe an NCAA tournament run at his current school before going on to the next. And if you look at some of the most common named candidates, Will Wade at McNeese State, they are in the NCAA tournament. VCU, Ryan Odom in the NCAA tournament. Even somebody like Justin Gainey, who's an assistant at Tennessee, in the NCAA tournament. So all of these guys are not all of them, but some of them are still coaching. So there might be an agreement. Here's the hard part. Graham, you're aware I like to name my theories, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You ready for this one? I call it the sitcom finale problem.
All right.
Which is, like, nobody ever likes the finale of a sitcom, right? It's like, they didn't. Why did they end up together? Why didn't they end up together? Oh, they didn't bring back this character. They brought back that character.
They killed off this character.
Yeah,
why was this character?
That's so stupid. He would never do that. Do you know why everyone hates finales? Because it's the only one we write in our head ahead of time, right? Like, I don't know. What was your favorite sitcom ever?
Favorite sitcom growing up?
Sure. Or a popular one. I don't. It's not important.
Let's go George Lopez.
Okay.
Why not?
The George Lopez show. So let's say it aired on Thursdays. Most of the time, you watch on Thursday, you come back the next week, you hadn't thought about it all week, right? You're just like, that's my favorite show. I'm going to make sure I'm home on Thursday. You show up, no plan, right? No idea. No, I hope they do this. But when they say it's the season finale, you are thinking, I hope his daughter goes to college. I hope the neighbor comes back. I hope he settles the beef with his dad. Like, you have ideas. So now if they don't do exactly what you want, you get mad, right? It's not a great finale. Same thing happens with stuff like this, right? Most decisions that a college basketball program makes, you just react to. Oh, they got that recruit. Awesome. Yep. Oh, they scheduled this team. Great. You didn't go into their scheduling decision like, I really hope they play UConn in November, and I hope they go play in the Bahamas Classic. You just get the schedule and go, all right, cool. But a coaching search, I want Will Wade.
It's Will Wade no matter what.
I want Ryan Odom. I want somebody that played here. I want Justin Gainey.
Oh, all of a sudden Rick Pitino's in a part of the conversation. Where did he come from? I'll take him, the godfather of college basketball. Why not?
I always respected Mike Bray. I want, now everybody has their own idea with how this is going to go. So a bunch of people are going to be upset. You're not going to pick their guy, right? You can't pick everyone's. You can't hire them all. You can't have a staff where, Mike Bray is Richard Pitino is the head coach. Rick Pitino's the assistant. Justin Gainey's the assistant. Will Wade's the other assistant. Their director of basketball operations is Ryan Odom. You can't afford it.
We want Will Wade and the cool manager from McNeese State too.
So yeah, there you go. So there's two kind of ways to tackle this. One, you don't even care what the fans think. Two, you find the richest fans and only care about what they think. Because, hey, if we hire Justin Gainey, we're going to get a lot of $10 donations from people that just love the Wolfpack. We hire Will Wade, we might get a couple $500,000 donations from the 6 people that can afford those kind of donations. You got to survey the field to see who is most important to keep happy.
Well, based off the money and the revenue that's been coming in from boosters and donors, all signs point that the fans, let me be clear when I say this, the fans want Will Wade to be the head coach at NC State.
I completely agree.
Will that happen? I don't know. I'm in a group chat with a bunch of NC State guys that just are hammering, it's Will Wade till the cow goes home. And I'm like, what if it's not? And they're like, no, don't even speak that into existence.
It might be. It might be. It might not be.
But if it's not, please don't let that deteriorate your feelings, or don't let you automatically be like, oh, well, I'm out next season because we didn't hire the right guy.
Don't be out on the season, but I've said this throughout this entire deal, and this goes for every coaching hire. If you're going to ask fans for money, they have a right to agree or disagree with your decisions and speak with their dollars, right? In the past, where fans were not speaking with their, like, you weren't openly asking them for checks, do whatever you want. But, like, if there's someone who I think should be the head coach, and I'm an NC State fan, this is hypothetical, and you don't hire him, I'm not going to give as much money. That just makes logic to me. That makes sense to me. So if you know what the fans want and choose to do something else, you should expect they're going to be less excited to give cash. That's just logic. Right? So this isn't a like parent-kid relationship where it's like, because I said so. It's like, no. Actually, you're asking me for money. So partially because I said so. Like it's a different beast. That was number 4. Let's get to number 3.
Wrapped around the horn goes, and the Canes have won 7 in a row. Pyotr Kochetkov, perfect against the Flyers this year, and a perfect clean sheet, his 10th NHL shutout.
Pyotr Kochetkov, when he's good, is a monster. When he's good, and by the way, like when he's good, he's a little angry. He's a little like, wanting all the smoke.
A little spicy.
A little bit of that. What is it? His 10th shutout in like 109 starts or something? It's absurd.
I think so.
It's absurd. Kane stayed hot over the weekend. Blanked Philly. 7 straight wins. This is why I'm so excited about the winning streak. They hadn't won more than 2 games in a row, but once. They did it one time since mid-November. We're in March. They've won 7 straight. That is different, right? I don't want to make too big of a deal of it. I'm not like, oh, they won 7 straight, definitely hoisting the cup. Like, that's not how it works. But it does show that something right is going on.
Yeah.
Right? It does show that something is clicking. And maybe it's the new guys, Jankowski and Stankoven, Janky and Stanky, showing up. Maybe it's relieving them of the Mikko Rantanen drama. Regardless of what you think of Mikko Rantanen, when he was around, you know what the first question in your media availability was going to be. It was going to be about Mikko Rantanen. Just getting that off your shoulders can impact.
That locker room was a little on edge, for sure, during that time period.
Rod Brindamore was asked how much of a difference Mark Jankowski has been since joining the team. By the way, he has 4 goals in 4 games as a Cane on 4 shots on goal, which is absolutely absurd. Here's the audio from Rod.
Yeah, I mean, he's putting the puck in the net on his chances, right? I mean, that's one way to, get the team.
Friends.
Yeah, make friends, exactly. So, I mean, we don't expect that every night, but it's been nice. I mean, when you get it from a guy like that, maybe you're not really expecting it, not getting as much ice time as the other guys, but producing, that's huge for a group.
Mark Jankowski is a really interesting person, and I want to see what Rod does with him moving forward. I think it's going to be incremental, right? He's not on the ice a ton, but give him 30 more seconds and 30 more seconds. And if he keeps doing well, you keep giving him more opportunity. See how long it lasts, see where it levels off. What the heck? Keep doing well with you. I say this all the time. It's my favorite thing about sports. It's why I really like Isaiah Evans for Duke. It's why I get excited when players play their way into bigger roles, right? Like, if you weren't in the rotation at the beginning of the year, you got in a blowout, played well. So then, when someone else is in foul trouble a couple games later, they gave you a chance and you played well. So then you just got into maybe hey, when they're playing zone, you're in, and then it gets bigger and bigger and bigger until eventually you're getting 30 minutes and 20 shots. That's exciting to me. Mark Jankowski, he's done the first part, right? Got a little opportunity, played well. He's going to get a bigger opportunity. If he continues to play well, who knows how far it'll go. Canes stay hot. Seven straight wins. That was number 3. Let's jump to number 2.
For North Carolina, I don't know how they made the tournament and West Virginia didn't make the tournament. North Carolina had 11 opportunities to play against teams in the field. They only won one of those on a neutral court in December.
That was Jay Will. So obviously UNC fans are going to tell you to take any conversation a former Duke player has about UNC with a grain of salt, which is fair. UNC made it into the NCAA tournament. They're playing in the play-in game tomorrow against San Diego State. The conversation nationally is about Bubba Cunningham, the athletic director of UNC, is also the committee chair of the selection committee. That feels like a conflict of interest to many. I think it's unfair to Bubba in a lot of ways to put him in a situation where he has to chair a committee that controls the fate of his team and to his pocketbook a little bit. WRAL's Brian Murphy reported that in the 2022 contract that details the payments of Bubba Cunningham, there is a financial incentive, although not as big as some numbers out there. It's about $67,000 for UNC to make a bowl game and have both men's and women's basketball make the NCAA tournament. If that happens, he gets compensated extra with a bonus. That is a really tough situation to be. It's a bit like, I guess the way, I'm always thinking analogies, right? It's kind of like being the Little League coach and your son wants to play shortstop.
Yeah.
If it looks like your kid is not the best shortstop, but they're starting at shortstop, everybody's going to give you a really hard time about it, right? Other parents won't like you very much. They'll think you're being unfair. Now, if your kid was the super duper all-star, he's number 3 recruit in the country, he was listed on all the U12 websites of perfectbaseball.com, then nobody would argue with you. But it really becomes a tough deal. What if there's 2 shortstops that are exactly alike? If one is a 9 out of 10, the other is a 9 out of 10. Who starts? And are you going to fault the dad for putting the son out there starting shortstop? Because like UNC, there's a bunch of good arguments for them to be in the NCAA tournament. A bunch of them. I believe they should be in the NCAA tournament. I think the committee got it right with UNC, and I came around to that watching the second half of the semifinal of the ACC tournament against Duke. I had like an epiphany that, I don't know how I'm watching a team that wouldn't be included in the NCAA tournament. They were that good.
I do as well. Also, West Virginia, Indiana, Ohio State, and Boise State couldn't take care of business in their own respective first rounds of their conference tournament. That never helps. You essentially have dug your own grave at that point.
There are a lot of reasons why UNC should be in. There's a lot of reasons why West Virginia should be in. There's a lot of reasons why Indiana should be in. That's where it's tough, right? It's UNC, if they were a 2 seed, if they were the 4th team in the country, Bubba Cunningham wouldn't be getting any. Just like if your kid is way, way, way better than everybody, it's not politics that he's starting, but they have to be way, way, way better. It's unfair to put Bubba Cunningham in that situation. The answer to this, the solution to this, nobody employed by a college basketball team, school, nobody employed by any university that is trying to make any of the tournaments should be sitting on the committee. I think it's that simple. Then there's none of this. Then UNC makes it. There's none of these complaints, whether they're warranted or not. I don't believe Bubba Cunningham was in there making backroom deals. If that ever was discovered, it would be career suicide, risking way too much. I don't believe it happened. But I can see why Xavier fans are yelling, or West Virginia, Boise State, any of those fans are yelling about it. By the way, Keith Gill, the vice chair of the NCAA committee, who becomes the acting chair when they're talking about UNC, because Bubba Cunningham has to walk out of the room, he did explain what went into UNC making it in.
when you look at Carolina's kind of full body of work, and obviously the committee spent a lot of time looking at Quad 1 and certainly recognized the record in Quad 1, but also when you look at Quad 2, they're 8-0 in Quad 2. And so certainly know in Quad 1 they were 1-12, but they're 8-0 in Quad 2. They had a really strong strength of record. They had a strong net. They also had a strong WOB. And when you take all those things into consideration, the committee just felt like they should earn that last spot.
That's the explanation. I think there's good explanations for them, man.
I also would appreciate Keith Gill just coming out and saying, what does a lot of the non-North Carolina fan base, or what does the casual college basketball fan know more, UAB or UNC?
I mean,
no offense to the Fighting Dragons of Alabama, Birmingham, but
it is an entertainment product. I will give you that, but that shouldn't be the deal, right?
With the NCAA tournament, I mean, just ask Florida State last year. Are they all about fairness and look at the metrics and
go look at the Providence? It's in Providence. Go look at the Providence. I don't know, location. They're basically. Let me say this: it's in the West Regional. One of the first round matchups is Kansas against Arkansas, aka Bill Self against John Calipari. If two-seeded St. John's takes care of business in their opening game, there will be John Calipari against Bill Self, with the winner advancing to face Rick Pitino. Made for TV. The whole thing is an entertainment product. I'm surprised they don't have UNC in the same bracket as Duke, right?
Or Arizona.
Yeah, with Caleb Love. It is an entertainment product. I don't think that should matter as much. I'm all about competitive, but I'm sure it's a happy accident, right? It's like, well, if we can find a way to make them better for TV, then maybe we should. Maybe. That's number 2. Let's jump to number 1.
As dominant a run as this league has ever seen, and they punctuate it with a 23rd ACC title. They knock off Louisville 73-62, the final score.
Duke won the ACC tournament. They made it into the NCAA tournament. They are not the number 1 overall seed, although I thought they should have been. It's a small knock. They will open their tournament, their big dance on Friday in Raleigh. 2:50? Like a weird mid-afternoon start time. 2:50 against one of the teams that has to play their way out of Dayton. Here's what I hope happened on the second half of Thursday's game, Friday and Saturday. The world opened their eyes to how good the quote-unquote others from Duke are. Con Knipple is an optical illusion, but in the best sense, right? I've said this throughout the tournament. He's not. This is not a player comparison. It's just a tempo comparison. So I'm not saying he's as good or he plays like, just a tempo thing. A little bit like Luka Doncic, in that he'll get by you, and when everybody else gets by somebody, they try to accelerate. He'll slam on the brakes and box you out almost. It's you can't speed the guy up. You can't. He was sitting at the free throw line, getting ready to make 2 free throws to beat North Carolina for the 3rd time and solidify a trip to the ACC final. And he giggled. And I was just watching him. He smiled and told a joke. I'm going, this guy's heart rate stays at 4.
Yeah, cool, calm, and collected.
He's that good. Kaman Malawash is his skill set borderline doesn't make sense. And it's funny because I think he's been playing basketball 5 or 6 years. He's 7'2", quick on his feet. He actually, I think, will grow to be more aggressive. He gets his hands on a lot of rebounds and doesn't come down with them. I think just because he's, I don't know, in soccer you can't use, I don't know what he was playing up until then. But it's his skill set is crazy. So much so that we're sitting there on Friday. We did our show from courtside. There was no game going on until the Duke game at 7. We did 3 to 6:30 courtside. So they were coming out to warm up, pre-warm-ups, right? Not in their uniform, just out there stretching and stuff. And Kaman Malawash is 7'2", came right in front of us and just started firing threes, had a manager rebounding for him. He was hitting 4 and 5 in a row. Just bing, 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 miss, hitting 4 more, miss, hitting 6 more. And I was going like, oh my gosh, if this guy expands his range to 3-point land, what the heck do you do with that? Then he came out in the game and he went 1 for 2 and stepped confidently in and knocked down a 3. It was his 3rd 3 of the year. Like, he is still getting better each time he goes out there. They're that good, talent-wise, even when Cooper Flagg isn't on the floor. And I'm not sure he even takes that 3 if Cooper Flagg's on the floor, right? Cooper Flagg might have gotten the bucket, well before the shot clock was lower, whatever it ended up leading to the shot. But they've got some ability. Tyrese Proctor knocking down all those 3s. They've got some ability, and the ACC tournament showed it. Right? It ultimately gives – this is what it does. Say Duke goes to a Final Four. I don't know. Pick however far you have them going in their bracket. They go to a Final Four, they go to National Championship, they go to the Elite Eight, whatever. If anyone ever wants to say to, like, Caleb Foster, oh, well, I could make it to the Final Four too if I had Cooper Flagg on my team. They have the ultimate response, which is like, well, we won the ACC tournament without him, so I think we were pretty darn good. We didn't just get carried by him. Gives them a really nice little put that in your pipe and smoke it response. They won. To the victor goes the spoils. They'll write history in the ACC this year. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We need to grab some numbers game contestants. We have, pretty solid prize here today. Brooks and Dunn tickets. They're coming to the Lenovo Center on Thursday, March 27th. So this is like 10 days from now?
Correct.
10 days from now, Brooks and Dunn at the Lenovo Center. If you want to go, you have to win the numbers game. If you want to win the numbers game, you have to call in now. 919-860-5326. That's 919-860-5326 to win the numbers game and potentially to play the numbers game and potentially win some Brooks and Dunn tickets. Call in now. Numbers game coming up next.
Hey folks, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Law Tigers. I got to tell you, the opportunity that you have to win a custom Canales motorcycle, that opportunity's coming near to an end, folks. You have until April 6th to go to caniacsbike.com to enter for your chance to win a custom-built Carolina Hurricanes motorcycle. It's absolutely gorgeous. I've seen it with my own eyes because Law Tigers, Tobacco Road Harley-Davidson, Shiny Side Paint, your Carolina Hurricanes, they've all teamed up once again to give one lucky fan a Canes motorcycle, but this is a custom Caniacs motorcycle. Again, go to caniacsbike.com. Like I said, I've seen it with my own eyes. It's gorgeous. Custom painted with Canes colors, decals, logos, you name it. Beautiful white wall tires. It is one of one, folks. Go to caniacsbike.com. You have until April 6th. Less than 3 weeks to enter now, folks. Go to caniacsbike.com. Enter for your chance to win this custom beauty of a motorcycle. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
Move your sports day forward.
It's pretty clear Canes fans needed the flashy thinking from Men in Black and erase the memory the last few weeks. Based on the reaction Sunday night to 3 goals scored by the 2 newest members of the locker room and the postgame reaction, a brain reboot was required to be a fan again. Remember, it's only one game. You may have to unplug it and plug it back in a few times before the regular season ends.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Looking for the perfect kitchen, bath, or flooring? At Home Outlet, we don't just promise the guaranteed lowest price, we back it up.
Yeah, but how low are we talking?
We'll beat any competitor's price by 10%.
That's wow. But okay, what makes your store better?
Funny you should ask. We're 100% employee-owned. Everyone here has a stake in making your home projects affordable and stress-free.
So I'm getting expert advice, unbeatable prices, and I'm supporting employees who actually care?
Exactly. Why shop anywhere else? Home Outlet, kitchens, baths, floors, and more at the guaranteed lowest price. Visit us at homeoutlet.com today.
Hey, what do you say? John Forsland here for my friends at Buffalo Brothers. It's hockey season, baby. I live and work on both coasts, and here's the deal. There's nothing like Buffalo Brothers. The best wings on the planet and a great place to watch all the big games. Visit all 5 Triangle locations for great specials, including half-price pizzas Monday through Friday, 4:30 to 6, and $6 Jamesons on Sunday. Dine in, carry out. BuffBrothers.com. Aw, man, now I want wings.
Is your heating and air system ready for the changing season? Call Newcomb & Company to ensure your system is running at peak performance. As a Comfort Contract customer, you'll get priority service and a 15% discount on all HVAC and plumbing service calls and repairs. Newcomb & Company, your independent trained dealer, has proudly served our community for more than 70 years, delivering reliable comfort and peace of mind. Call 919-862-3000 or visit newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company, your comfort is our business.
Hey friends, Paul Ihander from 99.9 The Fan for FanDuel. And FanDuel is turning the excitement up even higher for college basketball. Through the first 2 rounds of the tournament, bet on the lowest winning seed of the day, and you'll win a share of $1 million in bonus bets. That's an upset you won't be upset about. Think maybe a 5-12 or a 4-13. That's just me. FanDuel, the best place to bet on the tourney. You can bet on everything from spreads to money lines and team totals and so much more. Just visit FanDuel.com/Paul, Paul with a capital P, and download America's #1 sportsbook today and back your dog of the day. Because in March, anything can happen. 21 plus and present in North Carolina. Opt-in required. Winning pre-live moneyline wager on lowest seed required. Each $1 million jackpot to be split equally among all eligible winners. Bonus bets are non-withdrawable and expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Which of us, detective, do you suspect is the millionaire?
The evidence is everywhere. Your diamond necklace, Monty's new yacht, and the butler's new convertible. Admit it, you're all Maximilian scratch-off winners.
Of course we are. With 25 prizes of $1 million, you could be too.
New Maximilian from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 2.95. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Jackson Hewitt wants you to save money on tax prep. We're saving money by having our intern rap in this commercial.
Don't stress, Jackson Hewitt's got expert tax prep, 149 or less. Yo, some tax guys lie about price. They got hidden fees, that ain't nice. Ain't nice. Don't ignore MC Kevin's rhyme, cause this deal's for a limited time. 149.
For tax prep that's $149 or less, hurry into Jackson Hewitt today.
No cap.
Limited time offer for new clients on federal returns. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com/149.
The Adam Gold Show.
Look, it wasn't going to work out with Mikko Rantanen, obviously. Should they have known? Probably, but they didn't. So, you make the best out of the situation. You get a guy in Logan Stankoven who fits the way you guys play. Now move forward. You also get some draft capital to add pieces down the road. It was never about this year anyway. It was always about the future. This team can still win it now.
The Adam Gold Show, weekdays starting at noon on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time to play the numbers game. We have Dave in Fuquay Arena, and is that Bear? Bear in Clayton. They will be competing for some Brooks and Dunn tickets coming to the Lenovo Center in about 10 days. As always, we ask a question. Graham, you get to be the judge today. You get to decide which answer is your favorite, and that person will get to go first. Dave in Fuquay Arena, are you there?
Yep, I'm here.
All right. The question you have to answer today is, what was the highlight of your weekend? But because we're a sports show, keep it sports related.
Wisconsin getting the number 3 seed.
What was that? I couldn't understand you.
Wisconsin getting the number 3 seed.
Wisconsin getting a 3 seed. All right. We'll lock that one in. Bear and Clayton, you are up next. Same question to you, Bear. What was the highlight of your past weekend? But because we're a sports show, keep it sports related.
I'll have to go with the Players Championship.
Ah.
Pretty good tournament. Even though I missed the end of it this morning, but
yeah,
pretty good tournament.
The delay got everybody. Rory ended up winning, in case you didn't know. Graham.
Well, thanks for ruining.
Oh, were you going to go back and watch? Should I have spoiler alert at that? I would have felt bad. The Sixth Sense, by the way, is a ghost the whole time. Graham, which one's your favorite answer?
Well, I feel bad for Bear that the tournament got spoiled for him, so we'll go with Bear and Clayton.
All right, Bear and Clayton, you get to go first. Dave in Fuquay Arena, stay on the line. You'll have your chance. Bear, you ready to pick a category?
Yes, sir.
All right. NFL, first category, NFL players born in mid-March. NFL players whose last name starts with the letter G. NBA all-hyphen team, players with hyphens in their name somewhere. Or NHL Hurricanes only.
I'll go NFL. Last name starts with G.
All right, these are all players, as the name says, whose last names start with the letter G. I will give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. One pass if you need it. Any questions before we get started?
No.
All right, your time will start when you hear the horn. Chris Godwin, Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
14.
Say it again.
14.
Correct. Sauce Gardner, New York Jets.
1.
Correct. Jahmyr Gibbs, Detroit Lions.
20.
Incorrect. Amon Green, Green Bay Packers.
30.
Correct. Jeff Garcia, San Francisco 49ers.
5.
Correct. Jahmyr Gibbs, Detroit Lions.
28.
Incorrect. Jahmyr Gibbs, Detroit Lions.
Pass.
No pass. Jahmyr Gibbs, Detroit Lions.
26.
That was correct. Graham, you're the judge. Did he get it in before the buzzer?
I have Max here to confirm with me. He got it in right at 31 seconds.
That is
buzzer beater.
31 seconds?
Or no, excuse me. 30.
If it's at 31 seconds.
29 seconds. 29 seconds.
Okay, Jahmyr Gibbs under the wire. That's a perfect score. Congratulations.
Thank you. Damn.
I had
brain farting on that one.
Well, I mean, if you brain farted and you got a perfect score, that's pretty darn good. But we have seen this happen where you did use darn near the entire clock. The other contestant, Dave Fuqua, will have a chance to do it faster, and if he does, he'll have the win. So stay on the line. We'll see if your time holds up, okay? That brings us to Dave Fuqua Arena. Dave, are you there?
Yep.
All right. You need a perfect score here, so lock in. Are you ready to pick a category?
Yep.
All right.
The other NFL.
All right. You don't want to hear the categories? You'll jump straight to the NFL?
What's the NBA?
NBA is players with hyphens in their name. NFL are players born in mid-March.
Let's do NFL mid-March.
All right. I will give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. One pass if you need it. You need all 5 to win, and you need to do it faster than the previous contestant, which is basically just get it done before the buzzer. Any questions before we get started?
Nope.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. EJ Manuel, Buffalo Bills.
13.
Incorrect. Andre Rison, Atlanta Falcons.
81.
Incorrect. EJ Manuel, Buffalo Bills.
15.
Incorrect. Andre Rison, Atlanta Falcons.
Pass.
Todd Heap, Baltimore Ravens.
81.
Incorrect. EJ Manuel, Buffalo Bills.
13.
Incorrect. Andre Rison, Atlanta Falcons.
85.
Every time you said 80, I just wanted you to stop. I go 81. Oh, it was 80 for Andre Rison. Just 80. EJ Manuel with the Bills, number 3. And Todd Heap with the Ravens, number 86. Obviously not enough for the win, but hopefully you had some fun. Hopefully Dave had some fun there. Baron Clayton, you are the winner. Congratulations. And a perfect score to boot.
All right. Thank you.
All right, you get the tickets to go see Brooks and Dunn in about 10 days. So congratulations. Stay on the line. Graham has to grab some info from you.
All right, thanks, TD.
You're very welcome. TD. Occasionally.
Like that first name basis.
Occasionally, that's initials. Occasionally, TD becomes a nickname. It are perfect initials for somebody that played college football. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, Graham, do you have something for the people here?
No, that's when we come back.
Oh, okay. Graham, when he comes back, has something for you.
I appreciate you being on top of the show, Doc.
I'm trying.
Means
trying
a
to
lot.
pay attention here. The ACC, the state of the ACC in basketball, was one of the big conversations at the ACC tournament. And when Dickie V chimed in on air, I thought we had to have the conversation, and we will do just that. Coming up next.
Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Loan Pronto. Folks, don't go through another year with all that high interest debt. Let Loan Pronto wipe it all out now. Loan Pronto's rapid equity loan makes it easy to pay off all your credit cards or tackle that 2025 home improvement project. Get cash in your pocket fast. No appraisals, no paperwork, no waiting. Loan Pronto's AI-driven tech gets you approved and funded in as little as 1 day. One client Got $150,000 approved in under 24 hours, paid off all their credit cards, 2 car loans, and a personal loan, saving over $1,500 per month. With low fixed rates and lightning fast transfers, you can do it too. Consolidate debt, improve your home, take control of your finances. Imagine being credit card debt-free by this time next week. Don't wait. Call Loan Pronto now, 919-381-1760, or visit loanpronto.com. Get your free rate quote now with no hard credit pull. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
The Adam Gold Show.
Look, it wasn't going to work out with Mikko Rantanen, obviously. Should they have known? Probably, but they didn't. So you make the best out of the situation. You get a guy in Logan Stankoven who fits the way you guys play. Now move forward. You also get some draft capital to add pieces down the road. It was never about this year anyway. It was always about the future. This team can still win it now.
The Adam Gold Show, weekdays starting at noon on 99.9 The Fan.
You know what's fun about Ram Truck Month at John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington? You, behind the wheel of a brand new 2025 Ram 1500. With savings as much as $15,000 off a new 2025 Ram 1500 Laramie, you can have all the fun driving this powerful, rugged truck built for work, play, and everything in between. So get off your keister and get to Heister today. See dealer for details. Hurry to Ram Truck Month at John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington.
Welcome home from Baker Home Exteriors. Your home is not just where you live, it's where life happens. We're proud to continue Baker Roofing's century-long legacy of excellence, bringing that same dedication to your home. Whether it's roofing, siding, gutters, or more, we transform houses into the homes you've always dreamed of. Your home deserves nothing less. Visit BakerHomeExteriors.com and let's build something beautiful together. That's BakerHomeExteriors.com.
It's bow time.
Finally, lunchtime. I'm starving.
What's that?
This is the Bojangler from Bojangles.
With the same bold flavor as their chicken?
The same.
And fries.
The same.
Huh. Well, I've got a PB&J.
Yeah, that's not the same.
A crispy fish fillet dusted in Bo's famous seasoning. With cheese and tartar sauce on a fluffy bun, the Bojangler's back. Hook one while you can. It's bow time.
There's no time like Bojangler time. Time to stop whatever you're doing and head over to Bojangles to try the Bojangler Fish Fillet Sandwich. You heard right, the Bojangler Fish Fillet Sandwich. A perfectly seasoned, light, flaky, wild-caught Alaskan pollock fish fillet sandwich. For limited time at participating Bojangles. Make it a combo and add Bojangles seasoned fries and legendary iced tea. Hungry for Bojangles but in the mood for something different? Then it's Bojangler time.
See if you're a winner every night. Watch live lottery drawings on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news. That's right, Carolina Pick 3, Carolina Pick 4, and Carolina Cash 5 numbers every night on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news. See if you're a winner before you go off to bed. Get your lottery numbers live every night.
North Carolina Education Lottery.
Only on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it.
Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 to learn more. With AutoPay plus taxes and fees, plus $5 per line without AutoPay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. Motorola Edge on us with 24 monthly bill credits and new line for well-qualified customers, plus tax and $35 per line connection charge. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Welcome to Staples.
I hear Staples prints it all for any business.
You bet. And we'll beat any print quote.
So if I had a pizza place...
Staples can print signs, menus, pizza boxes.
Landscaping business?
Oh, we can print yard signs, t-shirts, brochures.
How about a pizza/landscaping business? I'll call it Dough and Mo.
I like it.
Right now at Staples, get up to $250 off your print purchase. Ends 4/5, exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for offer details. Price match guarantee valid in store and staples.com/print. Visit staples.com/price match for details.
We're in the middle of the madness.
Tar Heels on the run. Trimble to the cup. Layup counted in the foul. Carolina can get within 6.
From the first four to the national championship.
R.J. Davis swishes it home. That one rainbowed up and through.
All the hoops action will be heard here.
Lubin gets the rebound and hammers it home.
The road to San Antonio is driven by Bailey's Fine Jewelry, Fairway Green, and First Horizon Bank. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
This hour of the drive is brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where comfort and business meet together, or where their comfort is your business. Visit newcombandcompany.com.
I'm shocked to see them in with one win against the field, even though they've been playing really good basketball as of late. But but UNC could beat San Diego State, and I think UNC could potentially beat Ole Miss as well.
I'm more interested to see who is out now that Carolina's in.
Exactly.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Do not forget, coming up in about an hour and 13 minutes, little Canes Corner action here on 99.9 The Fan. Jackson Blake, the featured guest today, rookie for the Canes. I've been saying this for a while. Jackson Blake, it feels like the dam is going to burst at some point. The levee is going to break. If you just keep creating high-leverage chances and you keep setting up your teammates and you keep building chemistry with two of the better guys on the roster, eventually the point production is just gonna open up like a faucet, a spigot. And you'll hear about that. Mike Maniscalco and the crew, and Jackson Blake as a featured guest today on Canes Corner, coming up in about an hour and now 12 minutes here on 99.9 The Fan. So looking forward to that. Be sure you keep your dial tuned. One of the conversations at the ACC tournament, and I spent, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday at the ACC tournament, is everybody's got a fix. Everybody knows the diagnosis. This is what's wrong with the ACC. This is why the SEC is passing them. This is why they aren't as good as they once were. I think first of all, I think the conversation is a worthy one. I don't think anybody knows for certain, but we all have our ideas. And it really became obvious for me that it needs to be addressed when Dick Vitale, on the broadcast, I have the quote right in front of me, I'll read it for you. This league's got to do a better job of handling the NIL and the transfer portal and get stronger. This conference, for years, was the best. And I'm telling you right now, it has taken a real hit. End of quote. That's Dick Vitale words, not mine. I agree with it for the most part, but here's my observation. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, it was rough basketball. I said it a billion times. It was competitive, right? The ACC still has the pride of the ACC. It's still the competitiveness of the ACC that we're used to. Those games were hard-fought, knockdown, drag-out battles. Basketball wasn't great. It was entertaining, but not good. Friday was different. I'll tell you right now, Friday was different. Duke versus UNC, Clemson versus Louisville, it was just better basketball. And that's a good sign for the league. Duke and UNC, obviously top-level recruiting, right? They've got 5 stars. They're going to have more money. They do that sort of thing. It was good. And Duke embraced the portal also. There's a whole article on ESPN.com right now about Shire's roster construction and how he was looking for the right players and not the best players and all that. But Clemson and Louisville did it differently. Clemson is veteran as heck. I've been calling Clemson the team you would pick to upset everybody in your bracket in 2006. Because you always looked for veteran guards. You looked for teams that had played together for a long time. You looked for teams that had the same coach. That's what you used to look for. Well, Chase Hunter's in his 6th year at Clemson. Ian Shefflin's in his 4th year at Clemson. Dylan Hunter's 3rd year at Clemson. Chauncey Wiggins' 3rd year at Clemson. And by the way, those all started their career at Clemson. So they've got time in. Their other 2 main contributors, veteran transfers, but still they're built around a core that's been together. That's a good way to do it. That's where Clemson's niche could be. Louisville, Obviously, new coach came in, Pat Kelsey, embraced the portal fully. Their two best players, one of them's an 1,100-point scorer from Wisconsin who was all Big Ten defensive team. The other was the Sun Belt Player of the Year at JMU last year. You can win in different ways. You have to find your niche in the modern college basketball world. And ACC teams should be able to do that. If you look at the number 1 seeds right now and you look at their reported NIL spending, they're not number 1, 2, and 3, and 4. They're above whatever the floor is, right? They're not spending nickels to everyone else spending hundreds, but you have to create an identity in this new world. Clemson, they're going to be recruiting guys and asking for loyalty, and they're going to be able to point to it. If you're here for 3 years, if you're here for 4 years, we'll put together a team that goes on a run. Duke, they're going to recruit 5 stars, and they're going to supplement out of the transfer portal. I don't think they're looking for Sun Belt Players of the Year in the portal. They're looking for veterans that were really good at playing a role to bring in out of the portal. And we could go on, UNC's, and we could go on. What is Boston College's identity? What is NC State's identity? That's the question for the next coach of NC State. What's Florida State's identity? And we could go on and on. That's what they need to answer. You're not going to be the biggest spenders. Cool. You don't have the big media deal that the SEC and Big Ten have. Awesome. What value are you providing outside of that? That's, to me, the big question. And it's not the same for the conference. The ACC's always been varied. They've always been diverse. And what I mean by that is traditionally you go to the Big Ten, what are you going to have? 2 7-footers, and they're going to want to play like a rugby mosh pit, whatever that's called, the thing where they get together and push each other. You go to the SEC, what are they going to want to do? Guards and running and flashy. You go to the ACC, 1 week you might play a team with 2 7-footers. The next you might play a team with a first-round draft pick point guard. The next you might play a team that plays zone. The next you might play a team that takes a bunch of threes. They've always been varied, but you need to have identities. Can't keep up with the Joneses. Got to do your own thing. It's the only way the ACC is going to get better. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have some really cool stuff coming up starting tomorrow with Bailey's Fine Jewelry. So just know there's brackets involved. I'm looking forward to it. But for right now, I'm just going to tell you this. The coolest place in town, Fox and Bailey Watch Shop, located inside Bailey's Fine Jewelry at their Village District location in Raleigh. Tim Donnelly here for Bailey's Fine Jewelry. In that Fox and Bailey Watch Shop, the largest selection in the state of pre-owned and vintage Rolex watches. Inside that, you can get a drink. You can inside Fox and Bailey, you can listen to some vinyl records. You can check out the Hamiltons, which you've seen in a whole bunch of blockbuster movies. You can check out the G-Shocks, which I'm wearing one right now. If you want to be rugged and you want to know that your watch can take the beating that you're going to put it through, you want to look at the Nomoses, you want to look at the Norcanes, which are bringing color to the watch world. There's so many cool things going on, and it's all in the Fox and Bailey Watch Shop, located inside the Bailey's Fine Jewelry in their Raleigh Village District location. Be sure to check it out. Also, with that being said, we have Overdrive coming up. UNC, they made the tournament. People reacted in a certain way. You get to decide how you want to react, but we break down both sides of it because I understand both. I think UNC should have been in, but if you're mad about them getting in, I see where you're coming from. That conversation is going to lead off Overdrive. And don't forget, Canes Corner featuring Jackson Blake, one of the more interesting young players on the Canes. He'll be the featured guest tonight at 7. You can hear it right here on 99.9 The Fan. I encourage you all to make sure you tune up for that one. I'll be listening for sure, and we might have some audio from it tomorrow on the show. We'll see you at 3 o'clock tomorrow for more of The Drive. Subscribe to our YouTube, 99.9 The Fan. Until tomorrow, have a great day, everybody.
Do you ever go to the Carolina Hurricanes games and find yourself thinking, what do the players eat before the game? What are their pregame rituals? What kind of music gets them pumped up ahead of the game? How sacred is the game day nap? What's the postgame mood on the team plane? Check out my new podcast, Iced Tea, with me, Megan LaMontagne. I get to talk to people who spill the tea on the Carolina Hurricanes. Listen to Iced Tea in any podcast app or watch the show on the Fan YouTube channel.
breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $150 in bonus bets when they bet $5, win or lose. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals,